If he wants to burn calories and any chance at a promotion, we say, good for you, Logan. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Kids across America are going to school hungry every day. With help from caring people across America, No Kid Hungry is providing healthy meals and hope to hungry kids so they can build better futures. Learn more at helpnokidhungry.org.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-897-4400. That's 800-897-4400.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Mostly cloudy skies for the rest of the day today. Temperatures are mild with a high of around 49 and some showers tapering off. Skies clear this evening and our temperature drops down into the low 20s. And then we'll watch for the wintry precipitation to begin. Saturday's highs only 29. Late in the afternoon or evening, we may have a brief period of snow. And then the main thing we'll see is freezing rain and sleet, which will cause widespread power outages that may last into early next week.
Weather update brought to you by Blue Shark Vodka, the world's smoothest vodka. Pour Blue Shark Vodka at all your events to lift everyone's spirits. Blue Shark Vodka, the shark that doesn't bite. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 297 points to 49,086. This hour of the drive is brought to you by Law Tigers. Injured in a motorcycle accident? Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. Case evaluations are always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers.
Working it back out. A shovel, score! There's your other level. And welcome to the National. Yoel Nystrom's first NHL goal. Guard back stall. Hanging, shoots, he scores! Oh, the captain on cue. Here's a chance for Stankoven. He'll wrap around in front. They score! Stankoven throws it out front. Blake had the blade.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Happy Friday, everybody. Thank you for starting your weekend with us here on The Drive. And yes, everybody, stay safe out there. Weather is incoming. And we'll update you on all of the schedule changes and everything as the show goes along. Dennis has all the information that you need. Speaking of Dennis Cox will be producing the show. I am Tim Donnelly. And yes, the Canes lost last night in a shootout. They did get their point, though. The college basketball weekend will be a busy one, and it will be accelerated due to some of those schedule changes we talked about. And oh, if it isn't the consequences of your own actions, Darian Mensah. That's a little preview for what we have coming up here in what we call the show opening, Big 3 at 3.
Number 1.
Carolina Hurricanes last night, Chicago at home. The opponent ended in a shootout. Ended in a loss in the shootout. This is how I'm gonna handle our conversation about the Canes here in this first hour. I'll let everybody know at 3:15 we're gonna talk about this game. That's gonna be our real conversation. And that conversation will not include any talk about shootout selections, who went when, who executed better, who didn't get a chance to shoot, who should have got a chance to shoot. Because I'm going to cut all that nonsense right now in the Big 3 at 3. I do not care. I do not care if they're good at the shootout. I do not care if Rod Brindamore is good or bad at choosing who should go out there for the shootout. I do not care. I think any ounce of energy spent by anyone within the program of the Carolina Hurricanes worrying about shootouts is a hint of energy that should be spent on something that could potentially win you a postseason game. And shootouts just can't, because they don't do them. Work on the power play. Work on face-offs. Work on literally anything else. And sure, if you win, like I'd rather you win a shootout, don't get me wrong. I'd rather have the extra point. But the Canes are they're not Buffalo. They're not scratching and clawing just to make the postseason for the first time in a decade and a half. They're a team that will comfortably be in the playoffs based on what we've seen. And by the way, if you work on something like your power play, you might not even need a shootout and you get the 2 points anyway. Right? It's not like the only way to get the 2 points in a game is to win the shootout. I'm tired of the whining and the complaining about the shootout.
Yeah, like you said, shootouts aren't in the playoffs. Who cares?
And also, like, I don't think the skill set correlates as much as everybody thinks it does. Oh, you got to have your best scorers in the shootout. It's solo on the ice, grabbing the puck, moving slowly down ice, and putting like an and one crossover mixtape move on a goalie. It doesn't, that's not one-to-one to even like a breakaway one-on-one in a game. The only way I can describe it is if at the end of a baseball game it were tied and they just went home run derby for the winner. It's like not live pitching, uppercut swings. It has no correlation to how good you are as a in-game hitter. There's a lot to like and a lot to not like about the game. The shootout doesn't play into it for me. So we're gonna put a wall up. We're gonna box in that part of the conversation, and we're gonna leave it here in the Big Three at 3. And at 3:15, we're gonna have a conversation about last night's game ahead of tomorrow's game at Ottawa. And we're going to talk about the things that matter, the things that could win you both regular season and postseason games. Had to get that out of the way. That's number one. Let's get to number 2.
Number 2.
A full slate of college basketball tomorrow is all at noon. Hopefully you have some multiple screens to roll with, right? Due to the changes, all 3 Triangle teams and Wake Forest, who's playing at Duke, will all be at noon. So we'll start with that. We'll start with the top 25. Number 22 UNC at number 14 Virginia tomorrow at noon.
It's a big game.
It's a big game. It is. I think I know athletes love these opportunities. This is a chance for UNC to make us eat our words, right? Prior to the Notre Dame game, which they won this week, there was a 4-game stretch that made everybody say all kinds of negative things. Perimeter can't defend. The former players are questioning effort. There's obviously a lot of metaphorical arrows being aimed at Hubert Davis. They're changing this, they're changing that. If you go out against Virginia and don't show all of those cracks in your foundation that you showed prior to the Notre Dame game, you're going to make us eat our words. That is a team, meaning Virginia, is a good enough opponent to show us change, and we'll believe it. It's a massive opportunity. Wake Forest is at number 5 Duke, again, tomorrow at noon. Wake is 65th in the net rankings, which I think is better than most would expect based on kind of the games they haven't won this year. 65th in the net rankings. If Duke's looking for a challenge, his name is Juke Harris.
Good player.
In the role of Hunter Salas, Tyree Appleby, Williams prior to that. Like Steve Forbes always has a score. He always has a professional level score. Juke Harris is 3rd in the ACC in points scored at 20.5 per game. I'm going to give you the rest of the top 4. Number 1, Cam Boozer, projected top 3 pick. Number 2, Emeka Okori from Stanford, who's really captivating the world over the early part of his freshman year. Number 3 is Juke Harris. And number 4 is Caleb Wilson, another projected top 5 or 6 pick.
It's good company.
Duke Harris is looking around like, hey, how good do we look, fellas?
That's real good company right there. That might be first team all ACC right there.
Exactly.
Plus one more.
Exactly. So if you're Duke, like there's your challenge, right? You got to go stop a professional level scorer in Duke Harris, who, by the way, also leads him in rebounds and also gets to the free throw line, third most in the ACC. There's some statistical things to really like about that guy. And then also at noon, I keep saying and then, like they're not all tipping off at the same time. NC State at Pitt. That one's on the road tomorrow. Of course, East Coast noon. NC State needs to prove consistency, and that starts with Pitt on the road tomorrow. They play better on the road than at home, so perhaps this is another opportunity for them to show that. But again, consistency is their thing. We've seen them look really, really good. We've seen individual players look really, really good, and we've seen them look not as good. We've seen their coach had to call them out a few times this year. Whether their shots are falling or not, it is a intensity thing. Obviously, that Will Wade's looking for. It is a really determination thing, or a hair on fire thing that I think he's looking for. And we'll see if they have that at noon tomorrow at Pitt. Again, you're going to need multiple screens. That's number 2. Let's get to number 3.
Number 3.
The latest update in the Darian Mensah court case, the lawsuit from Duke against their former quarterback, has taken I'm going to say hilarious turn, but it's really just funny because it's kind of sad. It's like you have no other thing to do. I guess you have to giggle. Duke quarterback from last year, who was in the transfer portal, Darian Mensah has filed an emergency motion to reconsider one of the temporary restraining orders that was at least upheld, granted, whatever you want to call it, earlier this week, to expedite a preliminary injunction hearing for today is when he was asking for. The hearing had been set for February 2nd in light of new evidence and to prevent what he and his team, his representation, are calling manifest injustice. The temporary restraining order forbids him currently from enrolling at another collegiate institution. Now I'm going to read. Pete Nakos of On3 tweeted out a picture of part of this filing from Darian Mensah and his team. This is, again, hilarious, but really it's sad. After the hearing, I learned for the first time that enrollment deadlines at other collegiate institutions who have indicated to me their interest in my enrollment will expire on Friday, January 23rd. I was not informed at any time prior to the hearing on the temporary restraining order on Tuesday, January 20th, of the enrollment deadlines at other collegiate institutions who have indicated to me their interest in my enrollment, and this information was not known to me or counsel who appeared for me at the hearing of the temporary restraining order. Now, here's the best part. Here's the best part.
That's me sniffing.
I got you, but it's going to get better. I understand that if I miss the enrollment deadlines at other collegiate institutions, then I could be permanently foreclosed from the opportunity to do so. Listen, I want to, the reason why I've been saying it's sad is because this could turn out being horrendous for the young man, right? It could end up really messing with his future, and whether you think he made a good decision or a bad decision, that's not great. Secondly, you can't act surprised that you have to enroll in the second semester by a couple weeks into the second semester. That's how college works.
Yeah.
He thought he was like, oh, yeah, February 2nd, cool. We'll catch up with this February 2nd. Then if it takes a couple weeks to figure it out, I'll just enroll in the second semester at the University of Miami or wherever else he wants to go by, I don't know, mid-March. And I'll just get there just in time for spring practice. It's like, no, this is collegiate football. You have to go to school.
Yeah, unless there's a school that's on a quarter system, which is different, which is very few.
And even that, it's I don't know how the application, do they take mid-quarter acceptance?
I mean, yeah, it's almost like, yeah, it's different.
All right, well, you better go find those.
Yeah.
Because, it's 3/13, and I haven't heard anything about a hearing being bumped up to today.
Not yet.
This is first of all, Duke Like, it's probably like the second quarter of the game that this is going to be in the court system. And I think Duke just took like a 2-score lead. They're up 10. You know what I mean? It's not over, but they're feeling good about themselves because if Darian Mensah can't enroll anywhere else, does he have any choice other than to come back to Duke? Does he have any other choice? This is, again, sad, but also feels like a win for the establishment. Feels like a win for the teams that want to make players honor 2-year contracts. Now, who knows, right? Because even if he can't enroll in another school this semester, which would be very important for the future of his football career, if he wins eventually, then obviously it wouldn't drag on as long for the next guys that are trying to get out of multi-year contracts in the middle of the term, right? Because they could just reference precedent and it would be much quicker. But Darian could be in a lot of purgatory.
I know we'll dive into this a little bit later on in the show, but you also have to understand, I guess we also have to take this into consideration, the courts do as well, is that you are still a student, and then are you going to allow one institution to block another a student from enrolling at another institution when it's a voluntary thing? Like, that's something as well. Like, you talk about just higher learning, higher education in this country. Like, there's precedent for that too that you have to worry about. Beyond just sports.
I actually think if you pulled like the masses, just the sports fans, the people that are invested in this, they would have preferred it reverse. Like, you can go enroll wherever you want, whenever you want, right? Go get your education. You can't play. The temporary restraining order should have said you can't play football, you can't practice, you can't work out. Like, that would have been what I think most of us would err on the side of, right? Like, no, you can always just go to class. We'll decide later if you can play football. But kind of the reverse happened, right? Like, oh, you can go in the transfer portal, sure. You can put your name in, can't enroll. It's like, ooh, rough spot. It's a shame it got this messy. And I'm not saying that it wasn't unearned messiness, but it is a shame that it got this messy. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll take a break. When we come back, the Canes, they didn't win last night, but Alexander Nikishin got a knockout. Stick around.
Low mortgage rates are back. Listen, Loan Pronto has fixed-rate mortgages with APRs as low as 4.89%, lowest in years. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Smart homeowners are taking advantage of this while they can. If you got stuck in a 6% loan, you can lower your payment big time. Or you can keep your primary mortgage intact and get cash out of your equity with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. One homeowner just got $250,000 out of their home. They paid off all their credit cards and some car loans and cut their monthly expense by $2,000. Call now and see what option works best for you, but don't miss the big rate drop of 2026. Ask about new home loans, VA loans, full cash out refis, or their famous Rapid Equity Loan. You can close in less than 2 weeks, and you may be able to skip your next 2 house payments altogether. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com for your free instant home appraisal with no hard credit pull. Call 919-381-1760 now, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 166171, APR for well-qualified buyers. Visit NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
Oh, I'm John Heister for John Heister Chevrolet in Fuquay Arena. You know, people are asking us, how are you selling so many cars all of a sudden? Well, did you know that the Beltline has opened up the outer loop? We're only 28 minutes from Knightdale. We're only 19 minutes from Clayton and 15 minutes from Apex. We're now the most convenient Chevrolet dealership to reach in the Triangle. It's just one more reason to get off your keister and come to Heister.
Now at John Heister Chevrolet, get up to $20,000 off a new 2025 Silverado 1500 RST. See dealer for details. Together, let's drive.
Pondering prizes with Cash Pop? Why pick just one pop when you can pick as many pops as you please? Up to 15. Picture this. You pick your pop, perhaps a powerful 7. Now pick more pops like a proud 9, a pristine 15, a perfect 10. Each pop propagates more potential to pack your pockets with prizes up to $2,500. So prepare for a peppering of prizes with Cash Pop from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Cash Pop. Play more pops, win more prizes. Must be 18 to play. See Cash Pop prize and odds charts at nclottery.com. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
And then coming after Nikishin.
He's got 2 guys on him.
Oh,
he's going to go.
Here we go. Nikishin and Moore. And Nikishin has lowered the boom on Oliver Moore. 3 straight rights.
He just buried it. He didn't want to go. It was a clean hit. He shouldn't have to go. But he finally said, okay, Oliver Moore,
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Like I said, the Canes may have not gotten a win, but Nikishin didn't leave it to the Cards.
No.
He ended it early.
Yeah. Don't put it in the hands of the decision of the officials.
Yeah. Not waiting for the ref to raise his hand.
Get a finish.
That one was quick, and it was fun, and we'll talk about it. But I promised at the beginning of the show that we will keep you updated on schedule changes, at least in the sports world, right? Obviously, with the weather incoming, there are schedule changes across, like, every industry, right? Different businesses open, close, all those things. So pay attention to the ones that you need in your life. For the sports world, we can help you out. Dennis, what is the latest on teams moving around or rescheduling or postponing games that we care about?
All right. Stay locked in here, folks. As we all know, North Carolina on the road at Virginia. That game is going to be a noon tip-off tomorrow. We also know that Duke versus Wake Forest, their game tomorrow at Cameron Indoor, initially scheduled for 5:45 p.m. It's also a noon tip-off. Also, NC State basketball, they're on the road at Pitt. And NC State basketball, they are also scheduled for noon tomorrow. So if you want to watch college basketball with the team from the Triangle, it's at noon. It's at noon. That's the best way I can describe it for you. NC Central had events yesterday, tomorrow, and Monday. Also all get pushed back to a different date. Also, some other dates or other things to keep in mind as well if you are listening to sports this weekend on 99.9 The Fan. One thing to keep in mind as well is that a game that we will have is St. John's at Xavier. It's a tip-off. Initially was scheduled, I believe, for 2:30 p.m. It's now going to be a 1:30 tip-off here on 99.9 The Fan. So if you want some, Big East basketball action, 1:30 tip-off here on 99.9 The Fan. Also, the Canes Corner on Monday featuring Brandon Bussey has been pushed to Tuesday. So Monday's Canes Corner at 7 o'clock at the local with Brandon Bussey has been pushed to Tuesday. Again, card subject to change. And also, we actually just got an email pushed here as well, is that the ACC women's basketball has announced some schedule changes as well. So actually, here's some other ones.
Keep it rolling.
Yeah, so this actually just came through my email about 3 minutes ago. NC State at Virginia in women's basketball that was initially scheduled for Sunday at noon is now going to be played tomorrow at 3 p.m. All right, so NC State women's basketball that was scheduled for noon on Sunday will now be at 3 p.m. tomorrow up in Charlottesville. Duke women at Pitt that was scheduled for Sunday 2 p.m. is now going to be Saturday 4 p.m. Okay, so Sunday's game between Duke at Pitt for women's basketball, initially Sunday, is going to get moved to Saturday, 4 p.m. tip-off on Saturday up in the Steel City. And North Carolina at home versus Syracuse, that game initially was scheduled for 2 p.m. on Sunday, is now going to be a noon Sunday tip-off.
Is that all?
That I can think of.
That's
for
it
right now.
No, that's appreciate it, and everybody will continue to update you on anything we hear throughout the show. Now let's jump into Canes talk. First, let's get the good out of the way. As bad as that sounds, right? Let's just skim through the good. Our last two first goal scorer predictions runs, like the last two first goals, are two of the most iconic first goal scorer predictions we've ever had.
Let's go. One,
we had our guy Dion, who got in a car accident right as he made his first goal scorer prediction.
Hashtag for Dion.
And it became a whole thing. So there's one iconic version. Then yesterday, David in Durham. Give him a hand.
Let's go.
David in Durham picked Nystrom's first career goal in the first period as his first goal scorer prediction. When asked for reasoning, he said he's due. And you're darn right he was. And he scored set up by KK, set up by Kokaniemi, which is an extra little burst, extra little boost. David in Durham got it right. Joel Nystrom, first career goal. David was on top of it. That is, I think, the most impressive first goal scorer prediction correct that we've had live on air.
I hope David bought a lottery ticket.
I hope he bought a lot. I hope he bet on that.
Good Lord, I can only imagine what the odds were.
I hope he bet on that. Two iconic first goal scorer predictions. So that's great. Nikishin's first career NHL fight. That was pretty good. was pretty good. It's one of those things that we knew in theory, but we hadn't seen yet. Like, I'm not surprised that the 6'4", 220 young, powerful athlete happens to be good at throwing punches, but like bing, 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 and it's over. It was that quick and that effective, and hopefully the league will take notice that there's a little muscle on the Canes now that maybe wasn't there or they didn't know for sure was there. And here's Rod Brindamore talking about Nikishin's fight.
We're learning some new things about him. He can obviously handle himself if need be, so we don't necessarily want to see him doing that a lot, but obviously he can handle himself, so good to see.
It's like any of like the break glass in case of emergency. It's good to know you can, but you hope you don't. Right? It's good to know he's there, but you hope you never have to ask him to do it. It's probably a pretty good sign when someone enters into a fight that nonchalantly that they're going to be a pretty good fighter. Right? When they're that comfortable in that situation, it's probably a good sign that they're going to handle themselves okay. And his combatant, I guess would be the term, Oliver Moore, on his 21st birthday, ate those punches. Here's Moore after the game talking about the interaction with Nikishin.
It's a good way to ring it in. Got beat up. Won a hockey game. So yeah, thanks, Frank. I knew it was him. Like when I gonna go drop him, but
it's a big fella.
He's a big boy and Russian. So I actually talked to him a little bit. Said it was his first fight too.
Oh, yeah?
Can't buy that. No chance.
The word on the street is that he's had a couple in the KHL, and he went 50-50.
He has.
He went 50-50 in him is kind of what he's telling people. You can see some of the videos on YouTube and stuff. It's good to know. That's what I'll put it there. A little edge for the Canes. That's good to know. I like the Blake answer goal in the third. Just looking at the good things, right? You fall behind and quickly answer, which is kind of was the theme of the night there for the goal scorers. That's it was good to see him and Stankoven connecting for it. Two young guys. I liked it. There's also some issues. Top line, not playing like top line. 0 for 5 on the power play, which obviously has something to do with those guys on the top line.
Bruh.
That's kind of, earlier I said we're not going to talk about the shootout. We're not. That's kind of why. Because I'm like, no, take whatever energy you're expending, thinking, strategizing, complaining, whining about the shootout, and maybe put it towards the power play being a little bit more effective, and you won't even have to go to overtime. I'm not asking for 3 out of 5. I'm asking for 1 out of 5. You're earning the whistle. Take advantage of it. The top guys had been on a bit of a heater, but it can't be like you're either supernova or ice cold, right? You can't ride the roller coaster like that. If you earn the advantage, use it. Although Chicago, I said it all yesterday, right, painted the whole statistical picture. There's a lot of things they don't do great outside of Bedard. They do actually have a pretty good penalty kill. So, if you give them a little credit, right? You don't want to ignore that. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll come back to that game a few times throughout the show. But before we come back with the Dean's List, and I think there's actually 3 really interesting Dean Listers to add today. Before we do that, Dennis has something he wants to tell you.
I do. Dennis Cox here real quick for my good friends over at Law Tigers. I know a lot of people are preparing for, the winter weather and all that stuff coming out, but imagine receiving something on the ice as opposed to having to avoid the ice. I'm talking about receiving a custom Canes Ducati motorcycle on the ice at a Carolina Hurricanes game. That is something that actually is a real thing that could happen to you folks, because the Law Tigers are once again teaming up with your Carolina Hurricanes to give one lucky Caniac a custom Canes Ducati motorcycle courtesy of Art Moto Garage and Shiny Side Paint. The way to enter, just go to caniacsbike.com. Again, caniacsbike.com. That's where you enter for your chance to win. The bike will be given away April 4th live at the game, and it includes tickets to a catered suite as well. I mean, that in and of itself is worth entering. Tickets at a catered suite to a game, also with a chance to win a motorcycle, pretty freaking awesome if you ask me. Go to caniacsbike.com to enter for your chance to win. The deadline to enter is March 29th, but why wait? Do it now, folks. caniacsbike.com. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, as promised. We'll hit the Dean's List next.
The Chase Ink Business Premier Card is made for people who make things happen, like me. I'm Sam, founder and CEO of Manifest, a product design company that makes everyday products designed smarter. I get 2.5% cash back on purchases of $5,000 or more, plus unlimited 2% cash back on all other purchases, which helps us make more smart ideas into a brilliant reality.
The Ink Business Premier Card. Chase for business. Make more of what's yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $6.99.
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What? You expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. And there's no time like now to stop what you're doing and join with the K-Yow Cancer Fund in the fight against all cancers affecting women. I'm Jenny Palmentier, CEO of the K-Yow Cancer Fund. From now through January 31st, Triangle Area Bojangles will donate all proceeds from Bowberry biscuit sales to the K-Yow Cancer Fund. Just buy a Bowberry, do some good, and get something good. So what are you waiting for? Hurry, it's bow time.
It's tax time, y'all. If you want to file free, this next one's for you.
Now taxes is so free.
Love that jam. Up next, commercials.
Intuit TurboTax free edition. See if you qualify at turbotax.com/free. No schedules except for earned income tax credit, child tax credit, student loan interest, and Schedule 1A.
4th and 6 from the 12. Gets the snap off with 2 seconds to spare. Rifles, end zone. Justin Jolie leaps up. It is a touchdown on 4th and 6, a 12-yarder. Pack's going to win the game. 20-11 with 1:47 to play.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We do have what I think should be a pretty good Dean's List coming up. But before we get to any of that, last night the Canes, they played. It was against Chicago at home, lost in a shootout. And as we always do the day after games here on The Drive, we break it down with 2 minutes of gold from our very own Adam Gold.
4th and 6 from the 12.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and I've got 2 minutes for 2 points that left Lenovo Center, although they did leave one behind, thankfully, and it's all brought to us by Parkway Sleep. They will help you get good rest faster and with the care you deserve. Carolina lost to the Blackhawks 4-3 in a shootout. We'll get to the end of this in a moment, but this game really boiled down to one thing. Carolina's special teams, no bueno. 5 power plays, 1 goal, but not the one you want.
Now back down low, Ehlers up high. Miller, his pass knocked away by Mikheyev. He had to track for the puck, but still a 2-on-1 developing. Mikheyev shot right on. Rebound, he scores. Anderson made the save, but Ilya Mikheyev stuck with it and pounded the backhand home, and it's 1-0 Chicago on a shorthanded goal.
Yeah, it was a good save initially. Freddie couldn't find the rebound. Jackson Blake apparently, for some reason, decided to skate away from the play. That's an issue that they'll deal with in film study. But later on in the second period, we had this.
There's a missed connection, and then Lardis is hammered by Nikishin just inside the blue line, and then coming after Nikishin.
He's got 2 guys on him.
The place
he's going to go.
Here we go. Nikishin and Moore, and Nikishin has lowered the boom on Oliver Moore. 3 straight rights.
He just buried it. He didn't want to go. It was a clean hit. He shouldn't have to go. But he finally said, okay, Oliver Moore.
I'm telling you, Alexander Nikishin did not want to fight. The hit was perfect. Honestly, he shouldn't have had to fight, but Oliver Moore, a former first-round pick, challenged him, so they did the dance. Didn't take long. 3 swings, Moore was on the ice, and they both skated to the penalty box, and more on their confrontation later. And maybe in some ways, this was a fitting end.
Oliver Moore now with a chance for Chicago.
He tried to go 5-hole on his breakaway in overtime. You have to think he's not going to do that. This is a mind game, mental warfare between he and Anderson. Do you change it up? Do you go back to that?
19th overall pick in 2023, 0 for 1 this year, wide to the left, cuts across the rings, waits, shoots, scores! Oliver Moore ends this in overtime.
Yeah, Moore with the game-deciding goal and a shootout, and then after the game, he had this to say.
I mean, I knew it was him, like, when I was going to go drop him, but...
It's a big fella.
Yeah, he's a big boy and Russian, so... I actually talked to him a little bit. He said it was his first fight, too.
Okay.
Can't buy that.
I give this kid so much credit. He also had a chance to win it in overtime with a breakaway, and Freddie Anderson made the save there. So far be it for me to highlight another team's player, but I got respect for Oliver Moore, who should not have fought Alexander Nikishin. Anyway, Carolina didn't play well enough to get 2. They got 1. All right, let's suck it up and move on. And let's get a good night's sleep. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health, sound off. For getting half of what you like, but maybe more than you deserve.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Thank you very much to Adam Gold for 2 minutes of gold. Now, it is time for the Dean's List. All right, the first Dean's Listers for today, and I haven't checked to see if you'll see. I'm putting the Duke students that are camped out in Krzyzewskiville. Apparently, they're camping out for the UNC tickets already, while away. But this, according to Joe Pompliano, who covers the business of sports, and I walked through the little Hall of Fame they have there at Duke once, and they had the rules on Krzyzewskiville, but I don't recall them exactly. But I'm pretty sure at least 1 out of every 12 students, like at each camp, there's have like 12. Mm-hmm. At least 1 has to be there at all points in time.
Yeah. Can't leave.
This weekend is going to be, I mean, whoever's the one that draws the short straw, you're on the Dean's List if you're still hanging out there and it is like freezing rain and in the teens.
By the way, if you're one of those individuals, please call us, 919-860-5326.
I wonder if they're not going to come through and say, like, everybody, you can go home for 12 hours or something. Because
They might make them.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, just for safety reasons. But if not, if you're willing to be there, you're on the Dean's List, because that is... I'm not sure my 20-year-old self in college would have been... I've been like, if one of you other 12 want to stay, I'll support you. I'll drop off some food or something. But you're on your own for this one.
I would have been that guy.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Wow.
I kind of am still like, I'd still be that guy.
I mean, yeah, that's a valuable member of the friend group. I'll tell you that much right now. That is a valuable member. Do it for the story? Are you that guy? Or are you doing it because, you really won't be bothered that much?
Just why the heck not? That's why.
All right, man. Good for you.
Because I can sit there and say, hey, you know what I did? I did this.
That's what I'm saying. Do it for the story.
For the story.
Do it
Absolutely.
for the story. I get the logic. I just would probably be like, hey, let's do it for the story. And then 15 minutes later, it'd be like, you good? I mean, we shouldn't both do it for the story. One of us should. More Dean's List. College football, the sport, and its popularity.
Okay.
The Indiana-Miami College Football Playoff National Championship game Monday night was the most watched college football game in 11 years.
Let's go.
Averaged 30.1 million viewers, according to Nielsen.
How many?
30.1 million viewers, according to Nielsen. This is all from an ESPN article, by the way. It is also the second most watched college football playoff title game and cable telecast on record. The only one with more, Ohio State's win over Oregon in January of 2015, still has the record at 33.9. So it's close. According to ESPN, it was the most viewed non-NFL sports telecast since Game 7 of the 2016 World Series between the Cubs and Cleveland. It is the 4th most watched college football game in the last 30 years and the 8th most watched ESPN production since the network started in 1979. I want to be clear on this. No SEC teams.
Mm-hmm.
2 transfer-filled teams, transfer quarterbacks leading those teams, filled with transfers up and down the roster, all being paid a whole bunch of NIL money, a non-blue blood football program involved in Indiana, and everyone watched. 30.1 million people watched. I have a feeling all of those, if they pay the players with this transfer portal, I am out. I am going to give up watching college football. People out there may have been lying. Bluff called. More Dean's List. I don't want to put them on the Dean's List, but like to the winners goes the spoils. Notre Dame, the bully. They're on the Dean's List. Although the number of teams in the field, as it's being announced today, expected to be announced today, the CFP, the number of teams in the field of the college football playoff will remain the same this fall. There will be some adjustments to how some teams are included. Again, according to ESPN, this season, the Power 4 conference champions will be guaranteed spots in the 12-team field. So whoever wins the ACC, the Big 12, the SEC, the Big 10 championships, they're in.
Okay.
It's no longer the highest-ranked conference champion or anything like it. It's those 4 are in, along with the highest-ranked conference champion from the group of 6, which now includes the Pac-12. Notre Dame will also be a lock, a guarantee for the playoff if it finishes in the selection committee's top 12. By the way, their schedule was also revealed. It looks top 12-able, if you know what I mean. Just to be clear, I'm going to say this in a different way. Notre Dame could finish the season ranked 12th, but get the final at-large spot. They will automatically get the final at-large spot over a team ranked 10th, which would be 2 spots better than they are ranked, for no justifiable reason other than because they're Notre Dame. There will be no logical or justifiable reason for them to get in over that 10th ranked team other than we got bullied into letting them. That's crazy. That's outlandish. It's illogical. It's other adjectives that mean bad. It's horrendous. But I guess credit to Notre Dame, right? Look out for you. Look out for numero uno. They're not in any conference. They don't have any conference mates to look out for. They're just out there being selfish because that's their role in college football. And, you know, like you do after somebody beats you in a game, you tip your hat and you go, I'll see you next time. Hopefully we'll get the better of you next time.
That's so dumb.
If like, you know how Notre Dame went on the Wambulance tour when they didn't make the CFP?
Oh, we had a caller in 2 days ago.
That's
Throwing
true.
track on Tuesday. Still on the Wambulance tour.
They're running it back. They're going back to different cities again for encore stops of the tour.
Whamburger.
If a team is ranked 10th and doesn't get into the CFP because Notre Dame automatically jumps them despite being below them in the rankings, I will join that Wambulance tour for them. I will be driving around, even if it's a school I despise. I'll be with them going, this is, you know, I'll grab a picket line sign and, oh no, we won't go, whatever their thing is. All right, last one. I'll make it quick. Mohamed Toure, I don't know how to pronounce it. A Miami linebacker announced he's returning to Miami. I think we should call him Van Wilder. This will be his 8th year of college football. Linebacker. Are you? I just the quick guys naming dudes.
Linebacker or tight end?
I think it's a linebacker. Let me make sure. It's Mohamed Toure. There we go. Hold on. Now my computer's taking a while. Bada boom, bada bang. Linebacker.
Oh, he's a linebacker? Okay.
Yeah. At least he was when he was recruited, and it says, yeah, he's linebacker. You ready for the people that were in his recruiting class?
Who's that?
Little guys naming dudes action. Garrett Wilson. George Pickens.
Wow.
Sam Howell.
Wow.
Jaden Daniels. Breece Hall. Kyron Williams. Puka Nacua. Drake London. And here's my favorite. John Mechie. John Mechie went to Alabama, completed his career at Alabama, fought cancer, beat cancer, came back, played in the NFL, got traded, and is on his next team, all while this guy was still in college. Garrett Wilson and George Pickens, those guys, have played 4 years in the NFL after playing their careers in college. This guy's like, no, let's run it back. He better have 9 majors and a grad degree.
A lot of people go to college for 7 years. Called doctors.
Yeah. This guy's going for year 8. Granted, I do think he missed 1 entire year for an injury. I don't know how that adds up to 4 more years of college football. He's playing. I exhausted my eligibility in college. This guy is going to play 2 times. He is going to double my career in college. And I used up all my eligibility. It's not like I played, 1 year and stopped playing. Crazy. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is the Dean's List. Let's go ahead and dismiss. And when we come back, we will get ready for more college action. UNC at UVA, top 25 basketball coming up.
I am here with Patrick Day of the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. I'm on your website. Gutter helmets right on the front of the website. Do you have a gutter helmet to fit my head? I have a small head.
We have a gutter helmet for every head, Adam. So anyhow, if you give us a call, we'll come out and take a look at your windows, doors, siding, roofing, gutters, and of course we can do the gutter helmet. We have financing programs that are really good. So we have like 12 months with 0 payments for 12 months. You don't have to pay anything. So if you're thinking about home improvements and you're thinking you're saving up for it, just come on and see us and we'll go ahead and get you set up and get your project done and you can pay in 12 months from now.
I feel like you're speaking directly to me. If it's for the exterior of your home, there is no better place than the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. You can find them online, aluminumcompany.com. Siding, roofing, windows, entry doors, storm doors, and the world-famous gutter helmets. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, 1-800-672-4348.
At First Carolina Bank, we pride ourselves on building relationships and doing the day-to-day things in banking extremely well. Experience the First Carolina way for yourself or your business today. Visit firstcarolinabank.com. First Carolina Bank, member FDIC.
Hi friends, this is Mark Pons with Chapel Hill Tire. In basketball, when your feet slip, the play is over. Traction keeps you in the game. The same goes for the road. That's why this January and February, you'll save $120 with free installation when you buy a full set of Michelin, Pirelli, or Uniroyal tires. Better grip on cold roads and wet pavement means more control behind the wheel. Confidence you can feel every time you drive. With 13 locations across the Triangle, we're easy to find. Book your appointment at chapelhilltire.com, save $120, and drive happy.
Hey everybody, Paul Eihander from 99.9 The Fan for FanDuel. And of course, FanDuel is turning on playoff mode. All customers get a profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. Each game day during the NFL championship round, you will find a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts waiting for you in the app. And you know, more boosts means more ways to level up your playoff bets. Pick the matchup you believe in. Take your shot on an upset. Or, like me, build a parlay that fits the moment. Then apply your profit boosts and go after even bigger payouts while the playoffs keep rolling along. Visit FanDuel.com/Paul. That's FanDuel.com/Paul and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Sends it out of a double team to Luka Bogovac. Open look for 3, nothing but net. Luka splashed that one home beautifully.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Carolina Tar Heels going on the road.
Sends it out of a double team to Luka Bogovac.
Going on the road to take on Virginia this weekend. It'll be a noon game in Charlottesville tomorrow. I said this earlier, and I'm gonna say it again. This is a chance for UNC to make us eat our words. and I'm including like me in this, but I think there's darn near the entire college basketball world has the opportunity to eat some crow if UNC puts it together against a school like Virginia. As it stands right now, this is a top 25 matchup. UNC is number 22. Virginia's number 14. The net rankings say this would be a quad one, and all those good things that come with quad one wins, particularly road quad one wins for a team like Carolina. But if we're being real, right, and I think we're all friends here, right? I think we can be honest with each other. I'm not convinced that what I've been calling their fatal flaw is solved. I think it was better against Notre Dame this past weekend, but their guard play, quite frankly, is something that I think against good teams, against teams that have, I would say, like, they're going to have to be above average, but they don't have to be the best in the country. Against teams that have solid, above average, outside shooting and guard play, I think Carolina is going to struggle. A game on the road versus Virginia could change my opinion on that. Like, unfortunately, it was kind of a no-win situation for them against Notre Dame, right? They played well. They looked like they made some adjustments. They did, quite frankly, a lot better than they have been doing at a lot of the things that have been plaguing them. But there was no way we were coming out of that game with me going, oh, thank goodness they corrected all of that. And I'm not going to fully probably make that a possibility against Virginia, but you can take 10 steps further than you could take against Notre Dame as far as convincing me that you've improved on your fatal flaw against a team like Virginia. This is the moment to change opinions. Notre Dame couldn't do that. Tess DeRitter and Malik Thomas, if you're looking at Virginia, they can shoot it, right? DeRitter's a taller guy, Malik Thomas more of a traditional guard, but they can shoot it, and UVA can score as a whole. This is not your like father's Virginia team, not your older cousin's Virginia team coached by Tony Bennett trying to slow everything down. They'll score on you. Ryan Odom teams are well coached, and they'll make you communicate on defense, and if he finds something in the scouting report that he thinks he can take advantage of, he will keep twisting that knife. So if you're Carolina, you know what it is. It's, this used to happen in like some of the football locker rooms I was in. Like if you run the ball for 12 yards in a game, you know what's going to happen the next game, right? Especially if you threw it for 380. Like you're like, guess what? They're gonna try to stop the passing game, right? Sometimes it's extremely predictable. North Carolina knows exactly what teams are going to try to do to attack them now because the past 5 games outside of Notre Dame, past 4 games, have given you the blueprint. A lot of screens, a lot of pick and roll, working for open jumpers. You can confuse them. Their effort will be questioned. If you swing the ball, the backside isn't always where they're supposed to be. They're not always playing sound rotation defense. There it is. Matter of fact, some of the flaws that good coaches will attack are being highlighted by your former players. Guys like Joel Berry are putting out bullet point lists of everything that UNC didn't do well in certain games. And if I'm Ryan Odom, I'm printing out that list and going, all right, here's everything they're not doing well, guys. How can we make this be the difference in the game? I'm joking on that. Obviously, their coaches can figure out what North Carolina isn't doing well without the help of former players. But my point is, this is where you either confirm some of the concerns that are being voiced by those that know basketball significantly better than I do, or you really land a punch fighting back against them. Right? Or if Virginia doesn't shoot and make a bunch of threes, and you win the game. This is not a game you have to win by 10, right? If you win the game by an inch or a mile, it is important, and it becomes a doubly important win if you can get it done while limiting their three-point shooting and while communicating excellently on defense and while doing all the things that you haven't been. This is what, and maybe this is the best example of it, this is what Carolina's season has done. We've now been talking about this game for, 4 or 5 minutes. I haven't brought up Caleb Wilson or Henry Vasar yet. because they're so not the problem. They're so, right. They're so like
far from it.
Like no, they're doing their job. Let me focus on what's going on over here. That they have two of the best bigs in the league, and we're not even bringing them up.
Hey, don't even bat an eye at them.
That's what you're risking wasting to the point where, like, Caleb Wilson will probably score 20. Vasar will probably shoot an efficient 17 and 12, right? 17 points, 12 rebounds. And whether that's enough or not is still up for grabs because of what you've shown in other parts of your game. And part of me is like that right there. Like if you're a guard on that team and you're not in the film room all day, if you're not asking assistant coaches to help you figure out what's not going right, how am I contributing to these problems that our team has? I'm going to be here early in the morning. I'll go to class. I'm going to come right back. I'm going to eat my lunch watching. Like if you're not doing that because you don't want to be the reason why those 2 seasons by those 2 big guys are wasted, then I don't know what you're doing there. Right? I don't want to project any kind of the responsibility of wearing the Carolina basketball uniform because I don't know, right? I've never worn it.
I can only imagine, though.
I can only imagine, and hearing other players that did wear it talk about it, like that would crush me, right? That if you think that I'm or my position group or my unit or my team as a whole, my roster top down, isn't living up to that responsibility, it would be like, okay, well, if I thought I was going 12 out of 10, I'm going 85 million out of 10 for until we get this thing back on track. Caleb Wilson's only here for what? 8 months? He's not going to be kicking around for another season. It doesn't happen in basketball anymore when you can be as drafted as high as he will be drafted. This is your chance to utilize what I consider is the best freshman they've had in a long time. You've had to, and part of it's by design. They've had more, 4 or 5 year players, but you've had to battle against the Caleb Wilsons the past handful of years, right? The preternaturally talented, unbelievable future lottery picks. You've got one. You need to make sure the rest of the roster is there to support, right? If you're a supporting character, you can win an Oscar for that too. And at Virginia is a chance to make me come back and listen to this on Sunday if I have power and go
right.
And listen to this on Sunday and go, wow, I was making that really dramatic, and they just whipped up on Virginia. Maybe I was a little ahead of time. Like, make me eat my words. People think that radio hosts get real mad when it's like, you were wrong on Friday. I want to be wrong about local teams a lot when I'm voicing frustrations like this. I want to eat these words. They'll taste delicious. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have football at 4 coming up next.
Oh, by the way, speaking of UNC, their game is at noon tomorrow at Virginia.
Correct.
Much like Duke basketball taking on Wake Forest and at Cameron Indoor is also a noon game tomorrow. Virginia, again, North Carolina. Yep. NC State at Pitt, also a noon game tomorrow as well for the men's basketball side of things.
And I do want to give a shout out to, I forget his name, Jim something on Twitter, who DM'd me because I said, like, you better have multiple screens ready to watch all 3 games. Mm-hmm. He pointed out that those of us that professionally cover all 3 are probably the only ones that want to watch all 3 games.
That's a very good point.
If you're like a diehard UNC fan, you're not like, I need to get more screens in here to watch NC State Pitt while I'm also watching UNC.
It's a good point.
It's a great point. So we'll get our multiple screens ready. You make sure you have your one screen ready to watch your favorite team. That's like I said, hat tip to Jim for the logic there.
All right, so those are the men's basketball changes. On the women's basketball side of things, NC State women are at Virginia. That game was initially scheduled for Sunday at noon. That's now going to be Saturday, 3 o'clock. Also, Duke at Pitt on the women's side, initially scheduled for 2 p.m. on Sunday. That's now going to be 4 o'clock tomorrow, so that gets bumped up a day. Also, Syracuse at North Carolina. That game was initially scheduled for 2 p.m. on Sunday. Now is going to be noon on Sunday as well.
Boom. And we'll keep you updated as more things come in.
Also, Brandon Bussey, Canes Corner, Monday. That has been pushed to Tuesday.
Yes.
As
long as it's still happening, right? We still want to hear from from Bussy and learn more about him because he's pretty darn important, and it's a pretty darn cool story what he's going through. And we do expect him to be in the net tomorrow in Ottawa for the Canes. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, football at 4. Up next, we look at what we've already described as the weakest position on the team for the Carolina Panthers. Stick around.
Coach, I look at people on Instagram and TikTok, and I'm scrolling through, and I'm like, man, they must have it made. And I look at like fit bodies and people living in big houses, but I think to myself, no, they have discipline, and that's the difference, and that's what they've saved for, and that's what we need to have right now if we want to retire with some money in the bank.
They have discipline or a good editor.
Yeah.
People can make themselves look a lot better online, and you're never going to post bad things.
Amen.
So I tell my daughter, don't judge your life against what you see online because you're only getting a quarter of the story. If you're happy within and you have a good plan, really doesn't matter what the Joneses are up to, does it?
Amen.
So we don't need to keep up with anybody. We need to make sure that we're keeping up with our trends and what we want to have in retirement. If you want to retire, let's put together a retirement plan. And let me give you my book, The Big Book on Retirement. So if you call now, we'll give you a no cost or no obligation total retirement plan and my book, The Big Book on Retirement.
919-794-7900. 919-794-7900. Or text Amanda to 600-700.
Amanda Daughtry is a paid spokesperson. Investment advisory services offered by Capital Financial Advisory Group, a North Carolina registered investment advisor.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon. Hello? You won't believe where I am. Are you running? Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel? I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. A little light rain for the early part of the afternoon, but then skies will begin to clear and temperatures will start to fall. Our high this afternoon, 49, but we drop to 22 under clear skies overnight tonight. And then we'll see the setup for the winter storm over the weekend. Saturday's high only 29, and the precipitation begins late afternoon or evening, briefly as snow. Then we'll see freezing rain overnight Saturday night and for most of the day on Sunday. That will cause widespread power outages and slippery roads.
4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 285 points to 49,098.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We are continuing our series today, looking around the Panthers roster heading into the offseason. That's Carolina Panthers, obviously. But I do want to give a fun fact for Canes fans out there. You ready for a fun fact, Dennis?
Go on.
Old double F. Do you know what happened 26 years ago today?
What's that?
Rod Brindamore was traded to the Carolina Hurricanes.
Let's go. Let's go.
January 23rd, 2000. Rod Brindamore traded to the Canes.
It should be a holiday.
Paid quite the dividends. Continue to.
That should be a holiday.
Well, I'm trying to think what it would be. Brindamore Day, Rod Day, a Rod a day. I don't know. We'll think about it. But yeah, 26 years ago today. Pretty darn important day in Canes history.
I'd say so.
If you ask me, or really anyone that's familiar with the Canes. So I pass along a little fun fact. Now let's get into the nitty gritty. That's the equivalent of, the management books that tell you if you're in management and you're gonna give some critical feedback, some constructive criticism to somebody, you should hit them with like a compliment first, then come around with the critique, just to make sure you're showing that you like them. Gave you a little fun fact, little positivity, hey, remember this cool thing? Now we're going to come around the other side and talk about the off-ball linebackers for the Carolina Panthers. We've already decided, and we had this debate earlier in the offseason, that they're kind of the weak link if you have one, the weakest link if you have one on the Panthers roster. So I don't think it should come as a surprise to anybody what the score is going to be. For those of you that haven't heard this series prior to, we started it earlier this week. We look at each position group on the Panthers. We give them a score out of 100. This is about the players returning for next year, players under contract, players hanging out, players that are depended on for next year. And it's a way to see how the front office does in the offseason, right? If they improve by a ton, they add the right guys, then we could do this exercise again on the doorstep of training camp or during training camp, and the number would be significantly higher. For off-ball linebackers, as of right now, I settled on 22 out of 100. 22.
I was about to say 25, but yeah, okay, 22. That's in the ballpark.
Really the only two names of note that have any kind of contractual ties to the team next year are Trevin Wallace and Bam Martin-Scott, and that's given Bam Martin-Scott some maybe a little generous there, right? It's really Trevin Wallace.
Yeah, Bam Martin-Scott, I think, started the year in the practice squad, and because of injuries and stuff, got called up a bit, but I mean, he's mostly just a special teamer.
Trevin Wallace's third round pick from a couple years ago finished the year hurt. So that's what you have coming back at the position, which some GMs might be a little excited about, right? Like, that's pure blank canvas. Like, you do not have to worry about, at least with the first couple of decisions, you don't have to worry about fitting in with any, like, it's not like, oh, well, we got a good run stuffer, so we got to look for a guy with coverage skills, or we got a guy that likes to play the left side, so we got to find somebody that doesn't mind playing the right side or has versatility to play both. You just look best off-ball backer and go from there, right? See what you can put together. It is blank slate. I will say, similar to running backs, you would think off-ball backer is one of the positions you can kind of solve quickly and hopefully cheaply in an offseason. You would hope, right? This is, if you look at the, I always use draft trends and obviously pay as ways to see which positions are prioritized in the NFL, right? Because quarterbacks, they get drafted early and they get paid too much. You know what? Everybody thinks that's an important position. Edge rushers, cornerbacks, receivers, these are some of the most highly paid positions in the league, which show how and they're also highly drafted, which shows how important they are to talent evaluators and roster builders. Off-ball backers are very rarely on that list, right? It's you have to be somebody special to be a first-round pick as an off-ball backer. You have to be somebody special to get a true, like, eye-opening free agency contract or extension with the team that drafted you as an off-ball linebacker. There was a point in time, it's kind of growing into history now, it's been a while, where, like, if you led the NFL in tackles, you were seen as one of the best players in the league. You were paid like it. You were a celebrity. Now you could be one of the top guys in tackles and be kind of a run-of-the-mill dude. That's surprising to me, right? Like Cedric Gray, UNC off-ball backer from a handful of years ago, Carolina product, is with the Titans. He was 4th in the league in tackles last year. He was 2nd in the league in solo tackles. He had 97 solo tackles. I bet you there are Carolina fans right now that are hearing that and going, no way, really? I mean, I knew he was playing a lot for Tennessee, but he was 4th in the league in tackles. It's not celebrated in the way it used to.
Yeah, Jordan Brooks for Miami Dolphins had 183 tackles.
I mean, when we were growing up, that's like he played for Miami.
Yeah.
That's Zach Thomas right there, right? Mm-hmm. And Zach Thomas was super famous. Now Jordan Brooks is like, I know him. Yeah, no, he's on the field a lot. He's around the ball. Like, you also, if you want to be a celebrity as an off-ball backer, you also need like 4 interceptions and 2 sacks, and a couple more pass breakups. You also have to do so much more. And then, borderline, they'll start calling you an edge rusher or a tweener, a safety tweener. So you would hope that you can solve this without having to break the bank. And if interior defensive line, led by a highly paid and highly productive Derek Brown, is going to be one of your strengths, then off-ball backer makes sense as a place to save some money because those guys should make off-ball backer easier to play is if you have the interior defensive lineman playing at a super high level. They're kind of like a symbiotic relationship there, little sea anemone and clownfish. They're working together. And here's the part that I also want to highlight, and it's probably unfair. Dan Morgan he should be a wizard at identifying talent at off-ball linebacker, right? There should be no position that he is more of an expert on than that based on his playing career, right? If the Niners, struggle to draft safeties, I'm going to look at John Lynch like, what are you doing here, guy? If Dan Morgan is being tasked with finding the diamonds in the rough at off-ball backer, I tend to trust him more. Right? If he needs to go spend the most money or draft in the first round, I'm going like, we're wasting your expertise. Your expertise should be finding the gems that most of us can't see because we're not you.
I think that position's harder to find nowadays.
Why?
So I heard Daniel Jeremiah of the NFL Network talk about this with Ryan Russillo recently, and I thought he brought up a great point. Is that how in college football you have so many of these spread offenses? It's all about speed, speed, speed.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just seeing a lot less off-ball linebackers on the field because you want to keep your two-down linemen, your edge rushers, and all that out there. So you're seeing oftentimes 5-6 defensive backs, so you're just not getting a lot of off-ball linebackers on the field. So there's the trickle-down effect of it. And I remember actually speaking with Jordan Reed of ESPN, who does their NFL draft coverage, about how in high school you're seeing the guys that are really athletic, maybe not even filled out their frame, but they're 6'1", 6'2", 225 pounds, and they're just really athletic. Well, they just put them at the edge.
Mm-hmm.
Or they're going to put their best athletes at corner.
Yep.
So it's harder to find safeties and off-ball linebackers, so it's just the trickle-down of all of this. So if you look at the NFL draft this past year, in the first 2 days of the draft, rounds 1, 2, and 3, only 4 off-ball linebackers were drafted in those 3 rounds. That's it.
I agree with everything you're saying.
So it's hard to find.
Yeah, and I've had conversations, I forget where, it may have been on this show, about how I think 7-on-7 is ruining off-ball backers.
Oh, yeah.
Because, all offseason in high school, coaches want to win 7-on-7 tournaments, which is the dumbest thing ever, right? It should be all about development. Who cares if you win the game? So they're putting essentially safeties at linebacker because they don't have to stop the run in 7-on-7. They're just great cover guys. And then when it comes around to fall, they're like, well, you're my middle linebacker, and you're essentially playing with just a billion defensive backs. I don't want to be clear. I don't think it's easy to identify the talent. I think it's there cheaply to identify the talent, right? I think you could go find a safety that's not working. And if you know what you're looking for, you go, all right, we're going to put 10 pounds on you, and you're going to be a middle backer. Like Isaiah Simmons could be that kind of guy. I'm not saying he is. If Dan Morgan tells me he is, I might believe it a little bit more.
But can that guy take on a 320-pound guard coming down at him?
That's where the cash or the added weight would have to come in. It is one of those things where NFL football I don't think will ever get away from. You need a couple dudes in the middle that can tackle and can take on blocks and can shed blocks and can identify run plays and shoot gaps and all of those things. College maybe has gotten away from it a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Right? The RPO game makes it nearly impossible, which I don't think will be as impactful in the NFL with better defensive backs. It's a confusing deal, but maybe that's where Dan Morgan's expertise is just a massive advantage, right? Maybe that's where he can be 15% better than other GMs at identifying those guys and finding those guys. And that ends up being, a place that they routinely don't have to spend money but are okay. Again, I'm not asking you to be the best. Fred Warner is going to be the best when healthy. I'm not asking you to draft high. Jacob Rodriguez from Texas Tech, former quarterback, might be drafted high because he was wildly productive as a kind of more traditional off-ball backer. I'm not asking you to waste high draft picks on him. I'm asking you to find a way to be good enough, right? And then be a strength of your interior defensive line, hopefully edge rusher, if they do what I hope they do. And your secondary will be the strengths. And your off-ball backer is just there to benefit off of everyone else's elite play.
Hopefully they can find someone that can cover tight ends because tight ends ate up Panthers this year.
I think that had a lot to do with one half of their safeties as well.
There's that too.
And at times your nickel corner. But there's
and scheme.
There's blame to go around on that sort of thing. My point is, there were some games where their off-ball linebackers, it was like, ooh, they really need to improve there. For the most part this year, you'd watch a game and they were kind of zero emission, right? I don't remember a ton of great plays, Roseboom interception here and there, like Roseboom sack here and there. But there also weren't too many games where I was like, they probably would have, won that game by 2 scores if their off-ball backers played well. Like, they weren't obviously the weak link often. That might be all they need if they do what they should do around them. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll be back in just a minute to talk college basketball. We're in the Mecca, and they're all playing at the same time. Stick around.
Evan Canty and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
The Buffalo Bills have fired head coach Sean McDermott. Sean McDermott did an awesome job in Buffalo, but not good enough. And we have been saying this all year. Sean McDermott should be the coach of an NFL team next year. It should just not be the Buffalo Bills. They have to get someone to win now.
Unsportsmanlike.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
What's this?
We're expanding the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club.
That's a pretty big wrecking ball.
Well, with all these new scratch-offs, this place is going to be packed with new winners. Okay, let's go ahead and knock this wall down. This is where we're putting the polo field. Whoa, patience, Trixie.
This month's tickets are loaded with $90 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.35 to 4.68. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
I'm Tiffany, founder of Harlem Pilates. When I couldn't find Pilates in my neighborhood, I started a studio from my studio apartment. Chase Inc. helped me grow from 1 Pilates studio to 3. Because when you start small, you're going to need some big help.
With the Chase Inc. Business Cash Card, you can earn up to 5% cash back on business essentials, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owner compensated for their participation. Cards issued by J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC, subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55, but unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional
Canes
details.
Hockey is back. Grab an ice cold Surfside to enjoy while you cheer on your Canes. Only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles, so easy to sip and enjoy. It's not a seltzer, it's Surfside, official hard tea and lemonade of the Carolina Hurricanes. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. A lot going on this weekend. And I say that almost every Friday because there's, when you live in this area, there's a ton of college teams. There's obviously Canes. There's always 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 football stories happening, transfer portal. I'm sure I'm forgetting a bunch of things. I say that every Friday. This weekend, just add in I don't know what people are telling me is one of the biggest ice storms that have come through the area in years, if not ever. Mm-hmm. So just that's the wild card to throw into the mix for this weekend. And because of that, there have already been some scheduling decisions that have been made, games being moved. And for all of those updates, here's Dennis Cox.
All right, so as we know, Duke basketball at home tomorrow, taking on Wake Forest. That game has been moved up to noon tomorrow. Initially scheduled for 5:45, the Demon Deacons will take on the Blue Devils at Cameron Indoor Stadium. That game gets moved up to noon. You can listen to that game over on Buzz Sports Radio. NC State at Pitt. That game also at noon tip-off. You can listen to that on our sister station, Mix 101.5. Also tomorrow, Virginia hosting North Carolina, top 25 matchup. That game will be also tipping off at noon tomorrow. If you also want to listen to sports here on 99.9 The Fan, we also have some Big East action for you. St. John's at Xavier. That game got moved up to 1:30 tip-off time. So that's also something to keep in mind as well. Canes, they're still locked in, 7 p.m. puck drop tomorrow. You can listen to that right here on 99.9 The Fan. On the women's basketball side of things, all right, this is where things have changed even further. When it comes to women's basketball in the ACC, for example, we have NC State at Virginia. That game was initially scheduled for Sunday at noon. That game will now be tomorrow at 3 p.m. Duke basketball at Pitt, initially scheduled for Sunday at 2 o'clock. That will now be tomorrow at 4 p.m. And then also Syracuse at North Carolina, initially scheduled for 2 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, will now be noon Eastern on Sunday. So keep that in mind. Also, NC Central has already had games from yesterday, tomorrow, as well as Monday. They've postponed contests as well. Haven't heard any update on any of those. I know Duke men's basketball is supposed to play on Monday as well. I would not be shocked. I haven't heard anything official, but I would not be shocked if Monday's basketball game also gets shifted. Also, Kane's Corner with Brandon Bussey this coming Monday. That event has now been rescheduled to Tuesday, 7 p.m. right here on 99.9 The Fan. Brandon Bussey, Kane's Corner, Mike Meniscalco at the local there by the Lenovo Center. That's been pushed to Tuesday.
That one, as long as it happens, right? I want to get the information. I want to hang out with Bussey, and there's no reason that can't be moved today, right? Sometimes the games people fight to keep because teams have travel, and moving this game could impact next game, and changes rest and everything else. But for something like Kane's Corner, it's really just we want the stories and we want everybody to be safe. Mm-hmm. So we'll push that one to Tuesday.
I want Brandon Bussey to be safe.
Yeah,
very
true. I mean, he's kind of important right now to the Carolina Hurricanes.
The only ice I want him seeing is tomorrow night in Ottawa. That's the only time I want him on the ice.
I do trust him on the ice more than everybody else that would be attending. He's, understands the properties of moving around on ice. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Be safe out there, please, everybody. Let's go ahead and jump into a little basketball talk here. Wake Forest at Duke. As you just heard Dennis say, it has been bumped up to noon in Cameron Indoor. I highlighted this earlier, but Wake is probably better than you think unless you're following Wake very closely. This is not some kind of pushover game for Duke. It's not even a bottom bargain or not bottom of the barrel ACC game. Wake is 65th in the net rankings. If you were playing Wake at Wake, if you were on the road, they'd be a quad 1 opportunity. Right, obviously in Cameron Indoor they'll be quad 2, but they're better than you think. Juke Harris is the third leading scorer in the ACC at 20.5 points per game. It's Cam Boozer, Ebuka Okori from Stanford, who's taken kind of the world by storm, surprising everybody with his abilities. Then Juke Harris, then Caleb Wilson. Those are the 4 leading scorers in the ACC. That's good company. He also leads Wake Forest in rebounding and is third highest in the conference in free throw attempts, which is something that Duke has thrived at this year, getting to the free throw line. So this game could take a while, depending on which refs you have. I haven't looked at who's there. But Juke Harris basically is very much following in Salas, Appleby, Williams. If you followed Wake Forest during Steve Forbes' tenure, he seems to always have a scorer out there on the wing, right? Always has somebody that can fill it up who's a threat to give you 30. So there's part of the challenge for Duke is it's not just look at this, a game, it's going to be quad 2, go through the motions. The optimism from Duke, here's what it comes from for me. And I was on earlier with WRAL, and they asked me about Duke's chances, and this is exactly what I told them. When I think the Carolina Hurricanes are playing their best, it's when they show that, they let you choose, right? How do you want to play this game? And then they beat you at that game, right? That to me is the sign of a truly, really, really good team. All right, you choose. Go ahead. Right? It's almost like you're I'm thinking of a sci-fi, not a sci-fi, some kind of medieval movie. Ready? Come along with me for this walk. It's like a medieval movie when the two gladiators are going into some kind of coliseum, and you walk in and you see on the wall they have like a sword, they have an axe, they have one of those things that's like a club with the chain going to the spiky ball. They have all this stuff there, and you're about to fight somebody, and they get to choose their weapon, and you look at them and go, what do you want us to use? right? That's the confidence of, I'm such a good fighter. I'm so good at this. You tell me how you want me to kick your butt. You want to use the big spear? You want to use the torch? What are we talking here? Duke has some of that. You want to get up and down? You want to run today? You want to grind this thing down to a pulp? You want to play every possession to the end of the shot clock? How do you want to do it? In their last 5 games, they beat conference opponents. Duke has beaten ACC opponents while giving up 87, 73, 75, 56, and 50 points. They won them all. And those were all, there were 3 quad 1 wins. I'm going to say that again without choking on my own spit. Those were 3 quad 1 games and 2 quad 2 games. And they won scoring with their opponent scoring everything from 87 to 50 points and stops along the way. How you want to play this, right? What's your game? Shuffling cards. What do you want to play? Poker? Blackjack? What do you want to play? Spades? Uno? Like, we'll do it all. What you decide, and I'll win. That's when they're at their best. And to do that, right, you do, like we've said, it's the same things along that have been dealing with them all season. If they're going to get to the, you can score 80 and we'll score 85, they probably need Isaiah Evans to knock down a bunch of shots. They probably need somebody like Caden Boozer or Dame Sarr to have a good day scoring, or Gungba to tack on 14, right? They're going to need some other guys in addition to Cam Boozer's 20. If they're going to give up 50 or 56 like they did in the 2 games all the way out west, that's obviously a full, everybody hands-on-deck, great defensive performance. So it's one thing to know you can beat somebody in a bunch of different ways. It's another thing to, however the game flow goes, be ready to do it. Wake Forest might, I could see them trying either one, right? They might try to get up and down. They also could grind it and try to get to the free throw line a bunch and use Trevon Spillers down low and maybe try to go muscle for muscle with Cam Boozer because Spillers is a strong guy in his own right. Like, there's a bunch of different options they have. And then, it's supposed to be a 6 o'clock game or 5:45, whatever it was, bump it up to noon. Maybe there's some, still got some sleep in your eyes when the game starts and might be an opportunity. Who knows? Across the country or across the East Coast, NC State will be taking on Pitt at the same time. The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. You're going to hear me say this a billion times about State. They need to prove consistency. And that starts with Pitt on the road tomorrow. What I am fully invested in and fully bought in on now, Will Wade is a 3D chess player with what he tells the media. Right? He's out there playing like Risk, and we're all thinking he's playing tic-tac-toe or something. I think this guy is a mental ninja. He's what's the Leo DiCaprio movie with the dreams?
Inception?
Inception. He's doing Inception here. He's trying to make us think things. I'm going to do my best to be aware of it and not let him get intruding in my thoughts, but we'll see. He had his radio show, which we're going to play here today.
6 o'clock. Wolfpack Weekly, Will Wade.
But it was recorded, what was it, yesterday?
Yesterday at the PITT downtown.
There you go. And we have a little preview here for you because something he said, I listened, and when I read about it, I was like, oh, this guy, he knows what he's doing. Here's Will Wade talking specifically about the throwback uniforms they've worn and the old school slobbering wolf logo that he has grown fond of.
I don't have much of a say. I mean, I like them. We've played well in them both times we've worn them. I think it connects us to our past, connects to our history. I like the slobbering wolf. I actually want to wear the slobbering wolf, but they won't let me wear that on my jacket. So, I don't know. There's so much. Look, it's a bureaucracy, like anything. So there's so much red tape. There's so much stuff you got to go through. But I like the uniforms. Hopefully we can bust them out maybe one more time this year. So I'm one of those guys, this probably doesn't surprise you. I like to ask for forgiveness, not permission.
That doesn't surprise me one bit.
We got a scathing email from the university after our first game.
Oh, really?
Oh, they were not happy.
Oh, goodness.
I don't think they quite knew we were wearing the state uniforms.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
Interesting.
I don't know if they knew that.
Fascinating. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know if they knew that.
All right.
Sometimes you just got to.
All right.
I'd run it by, the higher-ups in the athletic department. I don't know if it made it further than that.
Got
I
it.
don't
All
know.
right.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good. And here's what I mean by that. Every single college program in the country, major college basketball, football, whatever, has a few things that fans 100% approve of, right? Let me think of some other ACC examples. Anytime Michael Jordan is in the building for Carolina. How about anytime Virginia Tech plays football on a Thursday night, right? They have these things that fans are just constantly screaming, why doesn't this happen more, right? Why doesn't this happen more? And for State, one of those things is they love the throwbacks. They love any connection to the 83 team. They love any connection to the national championship teams. They love the slobbering wolf. And I think Will Wade knows that. I know he didn't grow up like, in Raleigh, or he's not maybe, at 10 years old, wasn't the biggest State fan, whatever. But he's been around long enough to talk to enough fans to understand what are the universally approved things in that program. And I don't think he broke that out at the whole, like, I'm for it. They don't want me to. I'm fighting for it. I like it. I'm going to ask for forgiveness, not permission. I think he broke it out at an appropriate time. It feels like they're on a win streak now, right? They beat Clemson on the road, biggest win of the year for them. Then he comes back, throws this out there. Boom, that feels like a win. Fans are juiced. 2-0, last two games. They're going to go play Pitt tomorrow. If they can handle their business against a team that's not near the top of the conference, boom, 3-0, and everything's moving in the right direction. Wind in sails. I think Will Wade is better with the psychology stuff than I'm not saying maybe everybody else saw it, and I was the one going like, let's see how this plays out for him. I think it's more intentional now. I'm on that side of things. And if you saw it earlier, you were on it faster than I was. The slobbering wolf logo is pretty sweet. Do you think it's like an age thing? Because I seriously don't think there is a single team out there whose logo from like 30 years ago isn't better than whatever logo they work with now. And I don't know if I thought that as a kid, but it could just be that I'm like getting older and nostalgic or something. But the further back logos go, the better they are. I hate all the logos designed in like the last 10, 15, 20 years. Is that a me thing? Could be. Throwback nights are almost always awesome, but you can't go too far, too. Some of the NFL teams that gone back to like the 1930s or whatever, and it's like they're all that same brown color. I'm not all in on that. But like 60s, 70s, they just have great logos. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's move on. We actually have more of an update here on the Darian Mensah situation. The situation even the right word there? Court case? I'm going to give you the quickest version of this that I possibly can, and I don't even know how long this. It might be a 10-minute, but I'm going to fly through it if possible. Darian Mensah began his career at Tulane, redshirted, played his redshirt freshman year, which is his sophomore year in the classroom at Tulane, played very, very well, hit the transfer portal, goes to Duke. Duke signs him to a 2-year NIL grant of rights exclusive contract that'll pay him $4 million plus each year. He plays for Duke that year, plays very well, leads the ACC in a bunch of passing stats, goes to the ACC championship, wins the ACC championship, goes to a bowl game, wins the bowl game. During the transfer portal opening after the bowl game, he and the team announced that he is staying at Duke, which made sense because he had signed that 2-year exclusive NIL contract. Other players announced they are staying at Duke. Cooper Barkate amongst them, Nate Shepard amongst them, two of their better players on offense. They, right at the end of the transfer portal, blindside Darian Mensah going into the transfer portal, and the contract be darned is kind of how it's painted towards us. Then, very quickly, it is reported that it is suggested that he will end up at Miami. Okay, that's where we're headed. All right, cool. Duke in trouble, maybe doesn't have a quarterback. Boom, we hear Duke is now suing Darian Mensah to enforce the contract, and they are saying there's irreparable harm, meaning not the type of harm that can be solved by Mensah or Miami cutting a check. This is the kind that needs to be made good by him returning to Duke to play. Boom, continue. We learn Cooper Barkate did put his name in the transfer portal, likely between the time that Mensah hitting the portal and the portal closing in that window there. So he hears his quarterback's leaving, he hits the portal. Boom, we hear Barkate likely to go to Miami, although not confirmed, which would be matching up with his quarterback. Boom, today, Darian Mensah has filed an emergency motion to reconsider a temporary restraining order, which was issued earlier this week on Tuesday, that prohibits Mensah from enrolling at another collegiate institution until, if or when, a different ruling is made on February 2nd during an injunction. He requests, in his emergency motion today, to have the hearing moved up to today in light of new evidence and to prevent manifest injustice, per the request, because he is forbidden at the moment from enrolling at another collegiate institution, and that could force him, again, according to his filing, to miss enrollment deadlines at other schools and thus permanently stop him from going somewhere else. Now to the latest. How quick I do that? Like 2 minutes? 3 minutes? That was better than I thought. Now to the latest. This has been updated since the beginning of the show. There is a new date. This is according to Brian Murphy, WRAL Sports investigative reporter. A new date for the hearing that had been scheduled for February 2nd in Duke versus Darian Mensah case. It is now January 29th at 2:30 p.m. So it was moved up from February 2nd, but it was not moved up to today as requested. If the filing that Darian Mensah placed today and that emergency motion is to be believed, 29th is too late for him to roll in these other collegiate institutions, and their interest in him will have passed by then. Again, I guess that could change. Matter of fact, now, me, Tim talking, this is not reporting, I would be surprised if he became eligible to enroll at another school January 29th. If a school like Miami, which obviously prioritizes football in a major way, wouldn't be able to find some teachers, some classes that couldn't possibly find a way to fit him into their curriculum and keep him eligible. But according to the filing today, that's not possible. Was that understandable? Did everybody? I did my best to do it quickly and also kind of hit all the major points. The filing today is not the decision to move the date up to the 29th. The filing from all of the representatives and Darian Mensah is a rough one, okay? It basically says nobody, again, and they might, who knows? I don't know how lawyers work. I did not go to law school. I did not stay at whatever hotel is supposed to make you feel smart last night. The filing says that nobody in Darian Mensah's camp, his representation, he, or anybody else knew that there were deadlines to enroll in college. That there were deadlines for him to join a semester of class. And oh, by the way, if you're wondering, Miami's deadline was actually the 21st, so that's already passed. After the hearing, this is directly from the filing today. After the hearing, I learned for the first time that enrollment deadlines at other collegiate institutions who have indicated to me their interest in my enrollment will expire on Friday, January 23rd, 2026. More from the filing. I understand that if I miss the enrollment deadlines at other collegiate institutions, then I could be permanently foreclosed from the opportunity to do so. I don't want to be rude or talk down. How in the heck did nobody look into this, if what they're telling us is true? How in the heck did nobody say, oh, by the way, if you can't enroll by this date, you shouldn't come because that's the deadline? How in the heck do you get in this position? Because keep in mind, what Darian Mensah gave up at Duke by leaving Duke was not a bad situation, right? He had the leading returning receiver, leading returning running back, and at least $4 million coming his way for playing this year at Duke. That is a very, very nice fallback option. for a coach that went to bat for him, right? He and Manny Diaz sat right in front of me at ACC kickoff prior to him playing well for Duke, and it was a love fest. I asked Darian Mensah why he came to Duke, and he said, this man's sitting right next to me. Like, you can go find the exact interview on our YouTube page. That was his fallback, right? So say whatever tampering agent or little birdie came to him and said, hey, all this money is in the transfer portal, you could go there. He had to think, before I go, is there a chance I'm left out in the lurch? Is there a chance I'm left holding the bag on this one? And not the type of bag everybody's chasing, the empty bag. Because should I risk a pretty sweet opportunity here at Duke to go, it better be darn near guaranteed that this is going to work. And there's 0% chance exactly what happened shouldn't have been thought of. Because I am not a lawyer. I am not aware of the intricacies of this case or contract law. And the first thing I thought of when Duke and when the Darian Mensah original transfer portal rumors were happening, the first thing I said, I'm sure Duke's got some pretty good lawyers, and this thing's going to go to court.
Yeah, a lot of smart people over there.
I'm sure they don't have lawyers that are unintelligent. So the fact that it's like, ooh, this thing got hung up in court for 1 week. 1 week is like, oh, we've passed every deadline possible. I would have been looking into, what if this thing stays in court for a month? What options do I have then? Let alone 2 weeks. And the reason why I'm saying what I would have done is because I don't think I'm any kind of particular expert or intelligent on the subject at all, and that's what I would have been checking. So if somebody who's not educated, not aware, not in that world, not familiar with NIL, not familiar with the transfer portal, was immediately thinking, what if this happens? How did a quarterback who's already transferred once, his agent, his lawyer, his representation, not at any point in time say, what if this thing's get caught up in court? I mean, maybe Miami or whoever was telling him, no, we'll make it happen, we'll make it happen, we'll make it happen. You got to ask the question. Well, what if Duke throws us a curveball that we're not expecting and this thing takes a week and a half? Am I, as they say, blank out of luck on that one? And did I just cost myself $4 million, maybe having to return $4 million from last year? This isn't low-stakes poker, right? Yeah, sure, it isn't low-stakes blackjack. Sure, I'll hit on a 17. What's $5? This is like millions of dollars on the table. I'm probably going to ask somebody who knows the odds. You know what I mean? What's showing? What's everybody else been dealt? Like, let's dive in here. Let's make sure we have all the information. I'm going to read this, and then we're just going to move on. I was not informed at any time prior to the hearing on the temporary restraining order on Tuesday, January 20th, 2026, of the enrollment deadlines at other collegiate institutions who have indicated to me their interest in my enrollment, and this information was not known to me or counsel who appeared for me at the hearing on the temporary restraining order. Guess where I found out what date Miami's deadline was? I Googled it.
Huh, imagine that.
Took me like 6 minutes, and I actually, clicked a few links incorrectly and went, oh, this isn't where I want to be, and had to go back. Took me like 6 minutes. I was not informed. Well, maybe you should have made sure you were informed. They actually said part of the reason the communication didn't happen earlier is because of that Microsoft outage that happened earlier this week.
Mm-hmm.
They said, oh, we were making calls, but we couldn't email because we didn't have the outage was out.
Ah, yes, of course.
It's in the filing. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We do have real bold predictions coming up. I'm going to have fun with that, so hopefully we can be a little bit more upbeat on a Friday. But first, Dennis Cox would like to pass along some info.
I do. Dennis Cox here real quick from my good friends over at Law Tigers. Something I want to make sure everyone is aware of when it comes to being out there on the road, whether it's bad weather, nice weather, springtime, all that stuff, winter. Always be aware, always be safe. Assume that the people around you do not see you. That's one of the first things I've always been taught, or as a motorcycle rider, it's the first thing I think of anytime I'm out there on the road. Is just assume the people around you don't know that you're there. Just don't make assumptions in the positive, like, oh, I think they see me. Just assume they don't see you at all. So just be safe when you're out there on the roads. But if you are injured in a motorcycle accident, I know I won't be riding my motorcycle anytime soon, obviously with the weather the way it is. But I also know the people I got to call. It's Law Tigers, calling them at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS even before you get in touch with the insurance company, because Law Tigers, they're part of the motorcycle riding community. They understand what your bike and your gear are worth, but most importantly, they understand the risks of the road and what you're going through after an accident. That's why your case evaluation with Law Tigers is always free, and you don't owe a dime until your case settles. Even if you got injured in a motorcycle accident, let's say back in the summer or the spring, and you feel like the insurance company isn't doing everything that they need to, they're dragging their feet, still give them a call at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS or visit lawtigers.com. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll be back with real, bold predictions coming up.
Listen for the oh my goodness.
Sears pulls up left wing 3. Ring it up. A dagger. A dagger by Sears.
They got postered.
Rebound battled for. Picked down Badunga. Rejected emphatically by Coleman Hawkins.
What in the what?
Maddox for Xavier. He'll throw a bounce pass in the lane for a two-handed jam.
The road to Indianapolis runs through 99.9 The Fan.
I'm very honored by this award, and I always just try to work really hard in school and soccer, and it's nice to be recognized with something this special.
The Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month from 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union. To nominate your athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326.
Welcome to Take 5 Oil Change.
Hey, which way is your waiting room?
Oh, you can stay in your car. It only takes 10 minutes.
I can stay in? Get out. I better find a good playlist to listen to while I wait. EDM? Nah. Oh, what about something classical? Nah. You got any suggestions?
Dad rock?
Now you speaking my language.
Take 5. The stay in your car 10-minute oil change.
Hi friends, this is Mark Ponce with Chapel Hill Tire, and I'm excited to share that our Bailiwick location in North Raleigh at the intersection of Strickland and Six Forks Roads is now open. From routine maintenance to major repairs, our experienced technicians focus on doing the work right and treating you fairly. You get the same trusted Chapel Hill Tire service you know, now closer to home. With 13 locations, there's always a Chapel Hill Tire nearby. Book your appointment at chapelhilltire.com and drive happy.
When it comes to your roof, it's all about quality above with peace of mind below. Hi, this is Holly with RoofWorks. We're proud to be in our 20th year helping families and businesses keep the roof over their heads as economically as possible. We work on every type of roof, gutters, and skylights with quality repairs, maintenance, and replacements for your home, your business, and multifamily. We offer warranties with every new roof and financing options for homeowners, and we're now serving Southern Pines as well. Visit us to learn more at roofwerks.com.
When your check engine light comes on, do you see a repair bill? Or do you see peace of mind? For 20 years, CarShield's been the name America trusts to help keep you on the road. While other companies stop covering you when your car gets older, CarShield offers protection plans up to 200,000 miles. With over $1 billion in claims paid, we don't just promise protection, we deliver it. Don't let a breakdown break your budget. Get the flexible month-to-month coverage you deserve. Go to carshield.com. That's carshield.com today.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. All right, before we get to real bold predictions, if a bit of misery loves company, or like you want to know you're not the only one going through some stuff, I have two situations across college sports that you could argue are messier than what's going on with Darian Mensah and Duke. And they're both kind of developing at the moment, so I'm gonna pass these along. And Dennis, all I can say is have your popcorn ready, okay? We're all familiar with what's going on at Alabama with basketball, right? With Charles Bediako, he is a player that played 2 years at Alabama, declared for the draft. This is basketball. Declared for the draft, went undrafted, played in the G League for 2 years, signed 3 NBA level contracts, 2-way contracts, 10-day contracts, that sort of thing.
G League.
Did not play in the NBA, but did have like official NBA contracts. Now he's returning to Alabama to play the rest of this year, and he has a Tuscaloosa County Circuit judge, Jim Roberts, who enforced a temporary restraining order to make him immediately eligible to play for Alabama. And he also added into that temporary restraining order that the NCAA is not allowed to punish Alabama for doing so. They can't make those games retroactively ineligible. They can't make them not count towards NCAA tournament. There's a whole bunch of stuff that is in the TRO.
So he can't go back and just forfeit the games.
Correct. Are you ready for this?
Go on.
According to Front Office Sports, Jim Roberts, the county circuit judge who made the decisions, and his wife, Mary Turner Roberts, are listed as active athletic donors on the Crimson Tide Foundation's website with lifetime contributions between $100,000 and $249,000.
Oh, shocking.
So a literal donor for Crimson Tide, the Alabama Foundation, made the decision that this former NBA contract haver should be eligible to play for Alabama right away, and there's nothing any of you can do about it. But the web is – I'm only at the beginning of the web being woven. I don't know if that's the term. His wife, who is also listed as the active athletic donor, is Mary Turner Roberts. Mary Turner Roberts is also let me make sure I get this correct. Here we go. His wife, Mary Turner Roberts, is a lawyer on the defense team for Bediaco's former Alabama teammate, Darius Miles, who is set to stand trial for capital murder in a 2023 shooting. So, a couple that is a judge and a lawyer are Alabama boosters that have given six figures. The judge has ruled that a basketball player should be eligible, despite pretty much everyone else in college basketball saying this guy should not be eligible. And the wife, who is the lawyer, is on the defense team for one of his teammates at Alabama in years past, prior to doing the whole G League thing, who is now on trial for capital murder. And do you know what the real kicker is, just for entertainment value?
Oh, there's more?
Yes. Miles' trial, the capital murder trial that I was describing, is currently, this is all according to Front Office Sports, is currently delayed because his defense team, which includes the judge's wife, has accused the judge of being biased against the defense and is seeking to have the judge recused.
Huh.
Come on. I mean, that's right down Main Street. That's one situation that's obviously, for a bunch of reasons, messier. Then there's what's going on over at Clemson.
Okay, hold on. As our friend Josh on YouTube Live just said, the crazy.
Yes.
Yep.
Now, this one doesn't involve as much like legal here, but just as crazy. Are you familiar with what's going on with Luke Farrelly?
Can't say I do.
Okay, perfect.
Can't say I do.
Luke Farrelly is a linebacker who was in the transfer portal. He was at Cal, I believe. Let me make sure I get this right. Yes, he was at Cal, where he was the ACC Defensive Newcomer of the Year, something like that. Had a bunch of tackles. Really good year. The crazy part is he hits the transfer portal, and he goes to Clemson. Okay, that makes sense, right? Hit the transfer portal, go to a team that probably has more money. There you go. Starts going to class, goes to team meetings. He's a part of the Clemson team until he decides he wants to leave, and he goes back into the portal and is now at Ole Miss. Dabo Swinney's talking to the media, and obviously not super stoked about it, correct? And there's a whole bunch of like, hey, Ole Miss was tampering, whatever. He said, she said. Clemson coach Dabo Swinney, this according to Chapel Fowler of the State newspaper, Clemson beat writer, as well as John Blau, who is the Clemson athletics writer for the Post and Courier. Clemson coach Dabo Swinney told the media that transfer linebacker Luke Farrelly's agent told Clemson and their general manager Jordan Sorrells. Okay, so this is the player's agent. Player transfers to Clemson. Player then transfers out days later after being in team meetings and at class and working out, transfers out and goes to Ole Miss. The agent tells Clemson that they would turn over text messages for Clemson to use against Ole Miss, if you wanted to report them for tampering, essentially, if Clemson added a second year for $1 million to Ferrelli's already agreed-upon contract. Clemson and their general manager declined. So the player had an agreed-upon contract for this upcoming year. Ole Miss started tampering, it would appear, allegedly, and he said, I'll go to Ole Miss because they're going to pay me more, but if you want me to stick around, not only will I stick around, if you tack on an extra $1 million and another year on the contract, I'll give you the text messages of Ole Miss tampering so you can go hit them where it hurts. Clemson declined, and he went to Ole Miss.
Sounds like a bribe.
It's like a mafia move. It's like blackmail.
Yeah.
I don't even know what's going on, but it's almost like, oh, thank goodness, this guy only, the guy locally only went into the portal with a contract. At least he wasn't looking at Duke going, you know what? I'm going to go to Miami unless you and I pair up and we could take down Miami. It'll only cost you another couple $1 million.
So it's basically extortion.
But it's like reverse extortion.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like I'm extorting the one that's not here with you. I don't even – and by the way, all that's alleged because I don't know, whatever. It's hideous. It's gross. It's hideous. If you take the Mensah situation, the Ferrelli situation, and the Bediako situation, these are all happening in college sports right now. And, I assumed that the Mensah situation was like everybody in college sports, eyes pointed on the triangle. How does this end up? Maybe not, because everybody's got their own crazy thing happening maybe closer to them. Like, these would be the biggest stories in college sports individually that we'd talk about for like months if they happened, 5 years ago. But because it's such a chaotic atmosphere right now and there's so much crazy energy in college sports, they're happening simultaneously. And I just heard about them now, 2 of them. There's a judge that is a 6-figure donor to Alabama that made the decision that a player who has signed NBA contracts can play for Alabama and nobody can do anything about it. And it's just like, yep, okay, noted. Let's go over here. What do we got going on over here? Well, you have a Cal linebacker going to Clemson and bullying Dabo Swinney until Ole Miss, who, by the way, got bullied by Lane Kiffin, until Ole Miss swoops in and bullies Clemson out of the linebacker. And here in the triangle, we just have your run-of-the-mill $4 million per year contract being challenged in court between a quarterback and Duke football. Which, by the way, shout out to Duke football. I watched Miami, right? Oh, big bad Miami, all the highfalutin, we're the best, the U, Michael Irvin, whatever. I watched Miami fans get into fights with Duke football fans on social media for the last week. And I'm going like, hey, you know what? You are who you hang out with. Duke, you leveled up in the football world here.
I mean, happening even in our comment section.
Yeah. Who would have thought Miami, in 2001 when they had Sean Taylor running down on kickoff because he couldn't get in on defense, who would have thought that program would be arguing with Duke football and kind of losing? Like, they're not winning that argument. We are in some bizarro alternate universe right now. Do you think that's going to be on the recruiting pitch for Alabama now? It's like, if you ever do have to go to court, we got donors on the bench. Just make sure you're going to court somewhere around here. Roll Tide. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm sorry we didn't get to real bold predictions, but what I just told you is plenty bold enough. Maybe we'll get to some of them later in the show. Who knows? Starting 5 is coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Move your sports day forward.
The goal for the Carolina Hurricanes in the remaining games before the Olympic break, simple. Replenish those reverse Uno cards. The tilting the ice and playing catch-up from allowing early goals or silly penalties needs to stop in the third period. Put the hammer down early. And please, please, please don't let Stanky or Jarvie go a game without a single shot.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9. on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Get in on the Start Something New sales event right now at John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington. Save over $11,000 on a 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee, or take up to $15,000 off a new Jeep Wrangler Rubicon, trail rated and ready. And don't miss your chance to test drive the all-new 2026 Jeep Cherokee, Grand Cherokee, and the luxurious new Jeep Grand Wagoneer. See dealer for details. Get off your keister and hurry to John Heister Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Lillington.
This is the sound of Claire, cooking dinner at home. And that's the sound of a fraud alert from Wells Fargo, flagging a charge for a pricey restaurant in Paris. Considering Claire isn't in Paris right now, that seemed odd to the bank and to Claire. 2 taps later, Claire says nope to the charge, and Wells Fargo is on the case. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
At Smith Douglas Homes, we're proud to support our hometown heroes, teachers, healthcare workers, firefighters, and military. As a thank you, receive a $2,500 credit towards your new home purchase. Explore SmithDouglas.com. Smith Douglas, we're at your home, your choice within reach.
Pondering prizes with Cash Pop? Why pick just one pop when you can pick as many pops as you please? Up to 15. Picture this. You pick your pop, perhaps a powerful 7. Now pick more pops like a proud 9, a pristine 15, a perfect 10. Each pop propagates more potential to pack your pockets with prizes up to $2,500. So prepare for a peppering of prizes with Cash Pop from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Cash Pop. Play more pops. Win more prizes. Must be 18 to play. See Cash Pop prize and odds charts at nclottery.com. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Kat Campbell. 22 the low tonight. Saturday is mostly cloudy with a high near freezing. Our winter storm will arrive Saturday evening and night with a mix of freezing rain and initially some sleet mixing in as well. Please refrain from traveling starting Saturday evening.
This hour of The Drive is brought to you by Law Tigers. Injured in a motorcycle accident? Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. Case evaluations are always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones at the closing bell today, down 285 points to 49,098.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting 5.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The starting 5 will wait a minute or two here because there's schedule changes all over the place, and I want to make sure everybody stays up on it. Obviously, the reason for a lot of the games being moved, postponed, whatever it is because of the winter weather that we are expecting to hit a bunch of different areas in the East Coast, but including our area. Starting, at least in our area, starting late afternoon, early evening Saturday is kind of when the heavy stuff's supposed to hit. We did have the fun of fantasizing about snow for a couple of days, where they were like, it's going to be 20 inches, 22 inches of snow. And then it turned into actually it's just going to be pounds and pounds of ice. Good luck. So anyway, obviously ACC and a few other organizations have got ahead of rescheduling, and for the complete rundown, here's Dennis Cox.
All right, so we all know that men's basketball games tomorrow for both NC State, Duke, as well as, I guess, Wake Forest included, as well as UNC, are all going to be playing at noon tomorrow. So Duke, Wake Forest at Cameron Indoor tomorrow was scheduled initially for 5:45. That game will now be played at noon. NC State up at Pitt. That game also moved up to noon. Virginia hosting North Carolina. That game also at noon. There were some games that on the women's side that were scheduled for Sunday that actually got bumped up to a different date. So, for example, NC State women's basketball was set to be on the road on Sunday at Virginia. I'm sorry, they were set to be on the road Sunday at Virginia. That game got bumped up to Saturday. That's going to be a 3 o'clock game up in Charlottesville tomorrow. Duke at Pitt got bumped from Saturday at 2 p.m. Sunday at 2 p.m. up to Saturday at 4 p.m. Also, North Carolina basketball, their game on Sunday against Syracuse, initially scheduled for 2 p.m. on Sunday, is now scheduled for noon on Sunday as well. We've seen North Carolina Central also postpone games from not only last night, but also tomorrow and Monday have all gotten pushed back as well. Also, the Canes Corner radio show on Monday, 7 p.m. with Brandon Bussey, that has been pushed to Tuesday.
Is that it?
That's it.
All right. And by the way, like you should, if you're planning on watching a game, planning on going to a game, planning on any of that for the next 4 or 5 days, just double and triple check online before you head out or whatever it is. And just one more piece of the whole puzzle is if you do lose power, which obviously people are concerned about, right? And you're out there, you're getting your water, you're getting your bread, you're making sure you're hunkered down, your heat source, whatever it is. We will be broadcasting as long as our tower is standing. We have generators and things. We'll do everything we can to keep our signal out there. So if you have a battery powered radio or a crank radio that you can power with the gears and levers and that you can crank around, you can always listen in here on 99.9 The Fan.
Yep.
Right. And if you have charge to your phone and you have backup batteries and things for that, you could go to the app. Which means Canes hockey in Ottawa on Saturday, the NFL stuff on Sunday. All on 99.9 The Fan.
We also have game got bumped up. We're having St. John's at Xavier got bumped up to 1:30 tip-off tomorrow. We'll have that here on The Fan for you as well.
So you can stay up on your sports even if your power's out. We're going to do our best to make sure you have that ability. I, for one, would be bummed, but I'd be bummed if I have to use it on Sunday for the NFL games, but I absolutely will be ecstatic that it's available to me if I have to use it for the NFL games on Sunday.
We got you, fam. Don't worry.
Yeah.
We got you.
I'll find a way. I'll be out there like old school, right, with the antenna on the roof, moving it. How is it? Can you hear it now? I'll do what I got to do, ice storm or not. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Now we'll start with the starting five, starting with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
3rd and 5 at the Houston 33. Stevenson goes up in front of May. Blitz comes near side. May feeling it. He steps into it. He slings it deep right. 1-on-1 to the end zone. Touchdown, Patriots! Brought in by Booty. A rematch with Stingley. Won by the Pats.
That was a dime from Drake May. And an unbelievable catch by Booty. Gosh, that guy probably got picked on a lot as a kid. Booty, but actually he was, what was he, 5 stars? So maybe not. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. The NFL Conference Championship weekend. Sunday, New England at Denver, 3 o'clock. Rams at Seattle, 6:30. I think this might be right. You know what I mean? Like, I think these might be the 4 most deserving teams this year.
Yeah, it might be.
Which it's nice to see, right? It's kind of sets us up for some good games. The bummer would be Bo Nix's broken ankle means Denver won't be at full strength. But if we're being real, they depended on their defense a ton during this year anyway. Drake May, UNC, New England's quarterback. And then you have the in-division rivalry, which has already given us 2 really good games this year between the Rams and Seattle. So hopefully they can live up to that, and we'll have a solid outing. We'll make our picks towards the end of the show, and obviously these will be included. But without a real horse in the race, obviously, Carolina fans probably rooting for Drake May. But without a real horse in the race, I'm just rooting for good games and whoever I end up betting on. That's kind of my rooting interest in this one. That's number 1.
They should be fun games.
They should be, absolutely. Unless, the only thing I'll say, and it would be a real bummer for him as well, unless Stidham just has his rusty moments. Hasn't played in quite some time. The quarterback for Denver. It'd be a bummer if like gigantic mistakes by him settle that game. Right? Even if you want New England to win, I still think you want them to win like on their own merits, not because Stidham gifted them like 2 scooping scores or something like that. Although you won't turn that down. Don't get me wrong. That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
Copeland jabs on him a couple of times. Step back, three-pointer, left corner, swish.
NC State men's basketball at Pitt tomorrow at noon. You know my favorite stat when it comes to NC State. Shout out to @NC State Stats on Twitter who pointed it out. State is 10-1 when Darian Williams has a usage rate over 23%. They are 2-5 when he has a usage rate below 23%. That is both a team note to make sure they're aware of and a Darian Williams note to make sure they're aware of. I used this example earlier in the week. I think may have been on a podcast, so I'll give it to you just in case you missed it. One of my favorite mic'd ups, I am a sucker for mic'd up, just letting you know, is NBA from a handful of years ago. Steve Kerr, coach of the Warriors, Steph Curry on the bench. They are talking. And Steve Kerr sits down in that real like professorial way that he does, and he brings out the stat sheet. And it's very obviously, I don't even know which game it was. I don't know what his stats were. But the shooting totals were not good for Steph, right? He wasn't having a good day shooting, which for him might mean he was shooting like only 40% or something. But Steph was kind of bummed about the way he was shooting. And Steve went, here are your shooting totals. And you see Steph kind of looking at him like, cool, dude. Like, would you just sit down to show me I'm not playing well? And then he came over here and said, here is your plus minus. And it was basically to show him, like, I don't care if you're making shots. The effect your usage has on the game is beneficial for our team. I think that's a huge lesson for State about Darian Williams. Whether he's shooting well or not, the ball in his hands, good things happen, right? Maybe it's because the defense has to respect him so much that it opens it up for Van Allen Lubin. Maybe it's because he's a great passer, so he's setting up, right, once he gets the ball, making shots or not, he's setting up Paul McNeil for threes. Maybe it's because it's in his hands, it's not in some other guy's hands who aren't as capable, right? Like, whatever it is, 25% or more usage, Darian Williams, go. And I would expect you'd beat Pitt if you do that on the road. Do we know Pitt's net ranking? Do we know if there's quad 1, quad 2, quad 3?
I can find it. It's definitely not quad 1, though.
On the road, they can be down to 70, but Pitt's one of the bottom 4 teams in the ACC probably, so you're hoping they're above whatever. It has to be 140.
They're 121.
So it's quad 2 in their gym, I believe. Quad 2. It's important. That's number 4. Let's hit number 3.
Again, it's Chinyelu defending. Help from Klajar. Evans for 3. They left Evans, and he made him pay.
Wake Forest at Duke, as Dennis said, bumped up to noon tomorrow in Cameron Indoor. Duke ranked 5th in the country. Wake Forest 65th in the net rankings. So it'd be a quad 2 win for Duke having it in their gym. This is how I'm describing Duke in their best form. Okay, and I'm not saying they play their best form every game. They have a loss and they have some games that were closer than you'd like. When they're at their peak, they can beat you in whatever form or fashion you want to play. Right? You want to get up and down, we'll get up and down. You want to score a bunch, we'll score a bunch. You want to slow it down and try to grind us into a non-rhythm game, we'll grind you down further and get you into a more out of rhythm game. The way I'm describing this, or the thing I'm using to describe this, is looking at their last 5 games. Their last 5 games, all in conference. They've won all 5. They've given up. So the opposing team, in the opposing team's losses, have scored 87, 73, 75, 56, and 50 points. That is a wide range. Right, that's not there's kind of 2 ways to think about really good teams, right? One is they impose their will on you. They impose their tempo on you. So that way, like, hey, we win every game. Like, think of the best versions of the stereotypical Virginia teams under Tony Bennett, right? No matter how you play, When you play us, it's a race to 55, right? No matter what you do, we make sure we play this game. Duke's not that. Duke's like, you want to get up and run? Cool. We'll beat you 91-87. You want to grind it down? Cool. We'll hold you to 50. You want to play a mix? You want to get up and down a little bit? You want to slow it down? We'll beat you 80-75. That's when they're at their best. Now, to be able to do that, and if that's the way Coach Shire wants to operate, like we don't care what kind of game it is, we can do it. You do need everybody attentive, or that might not be the right phrase. You need everybody ready to play a big role or a small role, right? Oh, you want to make this a game about pounding the rock down low? Gongba, you better be ready to defend. Oh, you want to make this a perimeter game? Cool. Dame Sarr, you're playing way more minutes than you're used to because you're a great perimeter defender. Oh, you want to get up and down and score? Isaiah Evans, I'm going to need 20 from you. But also the reverse is true. Oh, you want to make this a perimeter game? You want to make this a run and gun game? Sorry, Pat. Sorry, big Pat. Maybe we don't need you as much this game. Right? Oh, you're going to play big? You're going to try to play huge and get a couple 7-footers out there? I don't know. All right, maybe Dame Sarr, you don't have as many minutes. Right? It's outside of Cam Boozer, I do think Isaiah Evans has a role no matter what. I do think, the Gongbas, the Caleb Fosters probably have some form of role, but it's going to vary. And you're going to have to, some games, be called upon to do a lot, and some games be called upon to play more of a supporting role. And Wake, maybe in a different way, they're a bit of a shapeshifter. I don't think they're choosing as much. It's just kind of like whoever shows up ready to play, they're the ones that are going to get leaned on. Juke Harris is pretty good, though. Third leading scorer in the ACC at the moment at 20.5 points. Also gets to the free throw line at the third highest rate in the ACC. Cam Boozer obviously up there as well. But, if Juke Harris can get some guys in foul trouble, could be a sticking point in the game, if you will. That's number 3. Let's head to number 2.
Just the two of us. Facears, Caleb Wilson takes the ball away from Serta, and here we go. There's the highlight from Wilson. Cocks it back and throws it down.
Biggest game of the weekend in the ACC. Number 22 in the country. Carolina Tar Heels at number 14, Virginia, tomorrow at noon. Virginia, Ryan Odom, first year as a coach, he's doing a great job. Virginia's playing very, very well. Probably to the point where we should stop being surprised that they're playing well and doing some good things. With that being said, this is a huge opportunity for North Carolina, and it's an opportunity that hasn't been there 100% of the time in recent years in the ACC. Pretty much, last year it was like, if you catch Duke, great, that can change your season. Maybe Louisville. Right, but now there are 5 teams ranked, a bunch of teams knocking on the door. We've been referencing it every week, how many teams they have in the top whatever of net rankings. You have games that you can go win and kind of be a turning point. UNC over their last 5 has not been fantastic, and there's kind of been obvious things that they've struggled with. Right, stopping perimeter scorers, communicating on defense. Some would say effort. Correcting those things or doing significantly better at those things on the road at Virginia would open my eyes. That would, I always say, I pride myself on, some of you probably don't believe me, but I pride myself on being willing to change my opinion if new information is brought to my attention. Right? I never get when, a media member or somebody, right, even coaches or whatever, say something, and then somebody goes and grabs a clip from 4 years ago of them saying the opposite thing. Like, well, that's not what you said then. I'm like, well, as long as they're willing to admit that they changed their mind, right? They're not pretending like both are true. That's good. Yeah, I used to think that. I did my research. I found my reasoning, and I used to think that. Since then, I've learned new things, and I've changed the way I think. As of right now, I don't think Carolina can reach their highest potential. I don't think they can support Caleb Wilson and Henry Vassar enough to reach the heights that players as good as those two are down low should be able to reach. And that's partly because of the way their guards are playing. if I learn something new about their perimeter against Virginia this weekend, I might change that opinion. But I need to be presented with some new information. I need to see some better play. Right? If you want me to completely erase the Stanford and Cal game, or you want me to completely erase how you looked against SMU, if you want me to completely erase that, you're going to have to show me something equally as good as those things were concerning. And Virginia's a good enough team that I'll potentially change, but you got to show me. As if they care about my opinion. But I'm just letting you know how I kind of operate. I don't think anybody there is worried, but, I put a lot of research into this. And I think the fans do as well. I think the former players do as well. Wouldn't it feel great if UNC could have all those player-run podcasts or former player-run podcast praising them after a UVA game? Rather than, all right, we got to be honest. Rather than starting the pod like that, they're starting with, let's go. How about it, Derek Dixon? How about it, Seth Trimble? They can get back to, telling old stories about what Roy Williams used to say after bad games. Those are the ones I live for.
You have got to be kidding me.
Roy Williams. Raymond Felton says we came back after a loss, didn't play good defense, showed up at practice, he took the rims off the bucket. We're just defensive sliding today, boys. Those are the stories I live for. I don't want the current guys aren't working hard enough stories. Those aren't as fun. That's number 2. How about number 1?
Go one! And then coming after Nikishin.
He's got 2 guys on him.
The place
he's going to go.
Here we go. Nikishin and Moore. And Nikishin has lowered the boom on Oliver Moore. 3 straight rights.
He just buried it.
3 straight rights. And if we're being honest, the fight was over after the second. But, catch one more on the way down, Oliver Moore. That was the probably the highlight of the night, although there were a couple.
Yeah.
Nystrom scored his first career goal. That's probably a highlight for people in his circle.
And it's David and Durham who predicted it.
David and Durham on our first goal scorer predictions picked a guy that had 0 career NHL goals. And that's one of those, you sure? All right, you want it, right? Don't blame me. And he nailed it. He got it right. Nystrom in the first. So that was pretty cool. The Nikishin fight showed some of his power and what we've known is there, but goodness gracious. And they went on to lose in a shootout. I want to make sure, not a shutout, a shootout. And for more details on it, as we often do in the day after games, we turn it over to 2 minutes of gold from the host of the Adam Gold Show here on 99.9 The Fan, Adam Gold.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and I've got 2 minutes for 2 points that left Lenovo Center, although they did leave one behind, thankfully, and it's all brought to us by Parkway Sleep. They will help you get good rest faster and with the care you deserve. Carolina lost to the Blackhawks 4-3 in a shootout. We'll get to the end of this in a moment, but this game really boiled down to one thing. Carolina's special teams, no bueno. 5 power plays, 1 goal, but not the one you want.
Now back down low, Ehlers up high. Miller, his pass knocked away by Mikheyev. He had to track for the puck, but still a 2-on-1 developing. Mikheyev shot right on. Rebound, he scores. Anderson made the save, but Ilya Mikheyev stuck with it and pounded the backhand home, and it's 1-0 Chicago on a shorthanded goal.
Yeah, it was a good save initially. Freddie couldn't find the rebound. Jackson Blake apparently, for some reason, decided to skate away from the play. That's an issue that they'll deal with in film study. But later on in the second period, we had this.
There's a missed connection, and then Lardis is hammered by Nikishin just inside the blue line, and then coming after Nikishin.
He's got 2 guys on him.
The place
he's going to go.
Here we go. Nikishin and Moore, and Nikishin has lowered the boom on Oliver Moore. 3 straight rights.
He just buried it. He didn't want to go. It was a clean hit. He shouldn't have to go. But he finally said, okay, Oliver Moore.
I'm telling you, Alexander Nikishin did not want to fight. The hit was perfect, Honestly, he shouldn't have had to fight, but Oliver Moore, a former first-round pick, challenged him, so they did the dance. Didn't take long. 3 swings, Moore was on the ice, and they both skated to the penalty box, and more on their confrontation later. And maybe in some ways, this was a fitting end.
Oliver Moore now with a chance for Chicago.
He tried to go 5-hole on his breakaway in overtime. You have to think he's not going to do that. This is a mind game, mental warfare between he and Anderson. Do you change it up? Do you go back to that?
19th overall pick in 2023, 0 for 1 this year, wide to the left, cuts across the rings, waits, shoots, scores! Oliver Moore ends this in overtime.
Yeah, Moore with the game-deciding goal and a shootout. And then after the game, he had this to say.
I mean, I knew it was him, like, when I was going to go drop him, but...
It's a big fella.
Yeah, he's a big boy and Russian, so... I actually talked to him a little bit. He said it was his first fight, too.
Okay.
Can't buy that.
I give this kid so much credit. He also had a chance to win it in overtime with a breakaway, and Freddie Anderson made the save there. So far be it for me to highlight another team's player, but I got respect for Oliver Moore, who should not have fought Alexander Nikishin. Anyway, Carolina didn't play well enough to get 2. They got 1. All right, let's suck it up and move on. And let's get a good night's sleep. Parkway Sleep Health Centers. Sound sleep, sound health, sound off for getting half of what you like, but maybe more than you deserve.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Thank you very much to Adam Gold for 2 minutes of gold, all about the game last night. They will play tomorrow at Ottawa. You can hear it right here on 99.9 The Fan. Because obviously it's in Ottawa, there will be no impact of the weather, at least the weather that's hitting here, on that game. So regardless of you know, your power situation, if you have as long as you have a battery powered or crank powered radio, you can listen in right here on 99.9 The Fan to that broadcast. Also on the 99.9 The Fan app if you have a phone or you know, tablet or whatever available. We just want to make sure you guys know that, right? If you can't watch it, don't have the power or whatever, you can listen to it right here on 99.9 The Fan. Hopefully the Canes can pick up a dub, keep the games with a point streak alive. The loss last night does continue one of the things that I don't want to say is bad. It frustrates me about this season. Things have never been like really, really, really good, but they've also never been really, really, really bad. Longest win streak of the season so far, 5 games. Longest losing streak, 3 games. It's like it's always like it's not super high and super low. I want a couple super highs. I want an 8-gamer, right? I want to string together a couple weeks without a loss. Is that too much to ask? Probably being greedy. Who cares?
Maybe a little, but that's fine.
Yeah, fine. Got high expectations. I think a lot of this team. And we'll start talking. We're getting close now, at least to the first trade, the first. It's not trade deadline, whatever, the roster freeze before the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting close. So next week we'll probably have to really start diving into that side of things. And I know there's a lot of you out there that want big trades, but you don't want to give up anybody.
I have something Canes related for you after numbers game.
Oh, interesting. All right. In that case, we'll get to numbers game in a second. But first, I want to tell you all about Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry and the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry and the Omega Boutique, the Omega shop within a shop at Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location. The 2026 Winter Olympics, yeah, they demand split-second accuracy, where victory could be decided by thousandths of a second. And guess who they trust? The official timekeeper of the Olympic Games since 1932, Omega, making Omega the natural choice to measure moments that define history. And you can take that innovation, that technology, that engineering that they trust in extreme cold, high speeds, intense physical impact situations to judge the Olympics and put it right on your watch in the form of a Speedmaster, in the form of a Seamaster, a Constellation, a DeVille, a Globemaster, a Railmaster. These are some of the most iconic watches in watchmaking history. And you can put them right on your watch, including, so on their Instagram, by the way, follow at Fox and Bailey Watch Shop on Instagram. They have the brand new black dial, white chronograph dial, reverse Panda Speedmasters. Just came out in 2026. When you have the relationship they have with Omega, you get the new hotness right there in your showroom. So stop out and see them for yourself. Bailey's Fine Jewelry, Village District location in Raleigh, and the Omega showroom right there to the left when you walk into Bailey's Fine Jewelry. We will be taking a break, but in the meantime, we need to grab our numbers game contestants. Call in right now if you want to play the numbers game. 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Pitbull with Lil Jon at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on May 19th. What? I'll tell you once again. 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Pitbull with Lil Jon at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on May 19th. The numbers game, next.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and as the Carolina Hurricanes shoot for their 8th consecutive playoff appearance, that's right, 8 in a row, that's not the goal, I should remind you. The goal is being, as Rod Brindamore likes to say, the last team standing. What do they need? Who will get them there? You know where you can find the answers on every episode of the Canes Corner podcast, live on YouTube after games, and wherever you get your podcast. Rate, subscribe, like, share, tell your friends.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Inc. card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for Business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
Adam Gold in studio with my man Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. All right, let's paint the scenario here. I need windows, but man, I don't have 3 hours to go through the process of deciding what I need, when I need it. Can you help at the Aluminum Company?
Absolutely. So, first of all, when we come out to your house to look at your windows, typical window appointment may last 45 minutes, an hour. We're certainly not going to make a 4 or 5 hour commitment to talk about windows. We're there to help.
Serve dinner last time.
Right. Listen, my wife always says, I talk to my wife all the time. We have salespeople, whatever we're doing. And my wife, I tell her all the time, I can't stand salespeople. And she laughs. She's like, you are a salesperson. I'm like, well, the difference is I'm just having a conversation trying to help people get what they want. I'm not there to pressure you. I'm just there to help you get in and out. And it's a pretty quick appointment. It's pretty efficient. So we're there to help you and make it quick.
I can vouch for that. The Aluminum Company of North Carolina, online at aluminumcompany.com.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. And as always, we'll have 2 contestants brought onto the show. We will ask them the same question. Dennis will be the judge. He'll pick his favorite answer. And that person will get to go first. Not as always, but for all of this week, we've had a pretty awesome prize. Pitbull tickets. Dale. With Lil Jon. What? At Coastal Credit Union Music Park. Those tickets are on the line. And our contestants for today, Jerry in Bunn and Bear in Clayton. We will start with Jerry. Jerry, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. The question for today is the same one we ask every Friday. We have a weekend coming up. It's going to be weather. It's going to be sports. It's going to be a lot of stuff. What are you looking forward to most for this weekend? But because we're a sports show, keep it sports related.
I know they're playing early tomorrow, but probably see the Tar Heels play tomorrow.
All right. Tar Heels tomorrow at UVA. Dennis, any follow-ups?
No questions.
All right. We'll go to the Bear. Bear and Clayton. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Can you turn down your radio a little bit? Just getting some echo there. The same question to you. On a Friday, what are you looking forward to most about this weekend? But because we're a sports show, keep it sports-related.
Well, I'm an NFL guy, so obviously the championship game's on Sunday.
All right. Conference championship weekend locked in.
Anyone in particular?
No, I'm a Vikings fan, so I don't have a horse in the race. But, I just like watching some good games.
Okay.
All right, Dennis, those are the options for you. Jerry is going with the Tar Heels game, Bear with the conference championships, but as a Minnesota fan, he's just going to watch and be sad.
All three games actually should be really good, hopefully. Both conference championship games, but also you get a top 25 matchup. I'm going to go with the top 25 matchup with the local team. I'm going to go with Jerry and Bun on this one.
All right, Jerry and Bun gets to go first. Don't worry, Bear, you'll have your chance. Just have to stay on hold. Jerry, are you ready to pick a category?
I am.
All right, the categories are NFL players, Panthers throughout history. NFL players, okay. These are players with a first name that starts with K. NBA players born south of the equator, or NHL Hurricanes throughout history.
I got to go with the Panthers.
All right. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. I will say the team in this category, even though we know it, just to keep it fair timing-wise with the other categories. Do you have any questions before we get started?
No.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. J.C. Horn, Carolina Panthers.
8.
Correct. Captain Munnerlyn, Carolina Panthers.
22.
Incorrect. Deontay Johnson, Carolina Panthers.
18.
Incorrect. Captain Munnerlyn, Carolina Panthers.
Pass.
Chris Winkie, Carolina Panthers.
17.
Incorrect. Deontay Johnson, Carolina Panthers.
11.
Incorrect. Captain Munnerlyn, Carolina Panthers.
42.
Incorrect. Deontay Johnson, Carolina Panthers.
17.
Incorrect. That was tough. You were actually much closer on Captain Munnerlyn than I think you gave yourself credit for. You guessed 42. We were looking for 41. Deontay Johnson, Carolina, wasn't here for a long time, but he was here for a crazy time. Number 5 is what we were looking for. And then Chris Winkie, 16. But you did get J.C. Horn, so you got the one. You avoided the shutout. Stay on the line. We'll see if it holds up. I'll never forget Deontay Johnson because when Bryce Young threw to Deontay Johnson, people would sing 9-2-5.
Working 9-2-5. Never had a touchdown connection, though.
Yeah, well, wasn't here for very long.
Nope.
But that
and
song,
Bryce was benched.
But that song will stick with me forever. That brings us to Bear and Clayton, correct? Yep, Bear and Clayton. You get to go up next. Are you ready to pick a category?
Yes.
All right, we have NFL players. Okay. All players whose first name starts with K. That's in honor of the Lil Jon and Chappelle Lil Jon impression. NBA players born south of the equator is their next category, and NHL Hurricanes throughout history.
NFL, okay.
Okay. I'll do it for you.
Dale.
Shout out to Micah. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. You need at least 2 for the win. And again, all of these names, first names start with the letter K. Any questions before we get started?
No.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Kurt Warner, St. Louis Rams.
13.
Correct. Cordell Stewart, Pittsburgh Steelers.
18.
Incorrect. Cam Kinchins, Los Angeles Rams.
Pass.
Kool-Aid McKinstry, New Orleans Saints.
91.
Incorrect. Cordell Stewart, Pittsburgh Steelers.
8.
Incorrect. Cam Kinchins, Los Angeles Rams.
44.
Incorrect. Kool-Aid McKinstry, New Orleans Saints.
27. God damn.
27 would have been after the whistle, but it wasn't correct either, so you don't have to beat yourself up about it. You did get Kurt Warner for 1. Unfortunately, tie goes to whoever goes first, so not a winner today, but hopefully you had some fun.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you as well. Kurt Warner, by the way, I didn't know he wore 10. We would have accepted 10 as well. 13 is what he's famous for. Cordell Stewart, 10. That I do know him all about 10. Slash. Kinchins, 26 with the Rams, played at Miami. Kool-Aid McKinstry had some options here. 4, 14, or 34. He's worn them all. Didn't come up with it, though. And that means the winner is Jerry and Bun. Jerry, congratulations.
Thank you.
You only needed the one, and that's what you got. So you are the winner. You get the Pitbull tickets and Lil Jon along with him. Can you give us a what or a okay from Lil Jon?
Okay.
Nice. Well played, Jerry. Stay on the line and grab your tickets from Dennis. You might stay on hold, though, because Dennis promised me something Canes related at this part of the show, and I shout out to Micah. I don't know what that information was. So what are we working with here, Dennis?
So we all know how great Brandon Bussey has been, correct?
We do.
Well, imagine if he stays in Carolina a little bit longer. This is Frank Saravalli with Victory Plus, NHL Insider, talking about potentially that. This is actually from earlier today.
Brandon Bussey's camp have been working on an extension for a bit. They seem to have made progress. They are finding common ground, and right now they've got a couple different options on the table. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is not because it's going to be an earth-shattering contract, but because internally and externally, I think it's a really fascinating debate. We've seen other goaltenders before have really incredible 25-game runs. And you think we just talked Sens for a minute. How about the Hamburglar from way back when? Unbelievable, gets the Sens into the playoffs, and then his career never really materialized after that. Got a contract out of it because they had to take care of him, but that was it for his career. That was a one-shot deal, a flash in the pan. Now, no one is projecting that onto Brandon Bussey, and I think there's lots of reasons to think why he wouldn't be. He's probably in some ways a little bit more pedigreed. Remember, this is a guy who had really good AHL numbers, was on the AHL all-rookie team. This is not a guy that hasn't worked at his craft and just arrived at this level and has, put together one of the most incredible runs at 18-3-2 that anyone has seen for a guy right out of the chute. So
interesting. That is just enough. When you started talking, I thought you were about to announce a actual contract extension. I was like, oh, we're going there. But instead, I crave to be, I want to be a fly on the wall of that one to know what those options are. I mean, everything that Frank was saying there is true. It is a fascinating decision, and finding that middle ground is not going to be easy. Because, yes, you could bring up Andrew Hammond, the Hamburglar, and you could bring up some of the goalies that flashed, but also there's a good amount of goalies that, played very well from the beginning and became very, very good. And that's what, Bussey and his representation will be arguing, right? There is a middle ground there where, if he bottoms out, the Canes will feel bad, but if he, tops out, if he hits the ceiling of his kind of production or potential, then the Canes will have an absolute steal. And how much are they willing to roll up? How much are they willing to roll down? I don't know. Long-term, lower money, more stability, short-term, maybe higher money, but obviously if it bottoms out, I don't know. It'd be nice if it happens, though, because Bussey is important this season for sure, and obviously a great story. I'm rooting for him, and it'd be nice if he got paid, as long as it's good for the team. It's so tough when a salary cap sport. I wish it were baseball and I could just be like, give him all the money. Who cares? It's not mine. But you do have to think in a salary cap sport. And by the way, I think the NHL does the best job with handling the cap, meaning how contracts count and how all that works. So in a very easy to understand salary cap sport where it's not like, fake, like in the NFL where you can give big money and then just push it into the future and move it around, you do want to make sure you're being responsible. But it would be cool to see Bussey get a crazy contract just because of the story that he has.
I would imagine, I think they would maybe potentially do a shorter deal, like 2 years.
It's my guess is if he wants a higher per year, it's going to have to be short because they don't want to be exposed and they know he's going to be playing now. If he's willing to take less per year, they might add a year or two on the end because then they're not at risk of hating that contract in the future.
I wouldn't be shocked if it's 2 times 4.
And if you're Bussey, $8 million, that's a life-changing chunk of change.
Because
you're going to give him the Darian Mensah, the 2
times 4.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: is that after next season, let's say you go 2-year deal, after next season, if he's still playing at an extremely high level, he's eligible for a contract extension again. He can go right back to the Canes and like, hey, all right, let's figure out something, add on to this type deal.
It's the great question about goalies is how long does he have to be really, really good for you to believe that he's going to continue to be really, really good at like a high percentage of the outcomes? That's that's $1 million trillion question. I don't know how to answer it, and they're probably debating it behind closed doors. But they have a couple different options. That's the fascinating part that Frank said. A couple different options on the table. I'm like, ooh, well, what's the menu, right? Like, is there a 4-year significantly less average annual value? Is there a 2-year higher? Is there a 3-year middle ground? Or how do you decide? Is there a I don't know. Like how many options could there be?
I would expect, in my opinion, I think 2 years is fair.
I agree. For like I said, he's for a good chunk of change. And what is he, 27 now?
Yeah.
So getting another bite at the apple 28, 29 when those conversations start happening, there's plenty of room if you want to go be elite to get paid like an elite guy in your career. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. You just heard from Dennis. Now let's hear from him again.
Hey, Dennis Cox here real quick for my good friends over at Law Tigers once again. I want to make sure everyone out there understands that there is something potential out there for you to win. And the reason why I say for you to win and potential is because, well, you got to enter a contest. I want you all to do this for me. I want you to go to caniacsbike.com. If you're driving right now, don't do that. Don't text and drive or anything along those lines. But I want you to go to caniacsbike.com because here's what's at stake for you there. All right, go to caniacsbike.com because the Law Tigers are teaming up once again with your Carolina Hurricanes. Speaking of hockey, they're teaming up with your Carolina Hurricanes once again to give one lucky Caniac a custom Canes Ducati motorcycle. Again, I'll say it again, a custom Canes Ducati motorcycle courtesy of Art Moto Garage and Shiny Side Paint. If I had a chance to win this motorcycle, I'd be signing up for it right now. But I can't. Because I'm endorsing it. I can't win this, but you can. Go to caniacsbike.com. The bike will be given away live on the ice at the game, April 4th, and it includes tickets to a catered suite as well. Imagine that. Inside a catered suite at a game, and you also potentially ride away on a motorcycle, a custom Canes Ducati motorcycle. Talk about truly a unique thing here, one of one. Ain't no other custom Canes Ducati motorcycles out there, at least that I know of. Go to caniacsbike.com, enter for your chance to win. caniacsbike.com. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Will be back to make our picks and send you into the weekend the right way. Stick around.
The Adam Gold Show.
Folks, Brandon Bussey just might be the guy. The performance against Buffalo, the consistency of performance, the fact that in his 22 starts, 13 times he has allowed 2 or fewer goals. Do you know what Carolina's record is when the goalie allows 2 or fewer goals? They are 18-1. That says it all.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
Sound Station and Security, your automotive and audio experts. Car audio, car video, home theater, wheels and tires, and so much more. Plus, did you know Sound Station and Security offers full service for your vehicle? Alignments, inspection, oil changes, window tinting, and custom exhaust. And with a variety of financing options, Sound Station and Security can help you get what you need today. 2 locations, downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Sound Station and Security. Visit myhotsound.com.
What's this?
We're expanding the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club.
That's a pretty big wrecking ball.
Well, with all these new scratch-offs, this place is going to be packed with new winners. Okay, let's go ahead and knock this wall down. This is where we're putting the polo field. Whoa, patience, Trixie.
This month's tickets are loaded with $90 million in total prizes. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.35 to 4.68. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, Call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-897-4400. That's 800-897-4400.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here from my good friends over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. We're already halfway through the month of January, beyond the midway point, and so many people out there when it comes to the weight loss journey, let's be honest, you've already gone off the rails with it, but that's okay. You have to get onto a plan, and that's exactly what Raleigh Weight Loss Center is there to do. Give you a plan to follow. There's no shots, no injections, no steroids, none of the side effects, just a simple path for you to reset your metabolism. That way your body can do the natural thing, which is lose weight. I've lost over 40 pounds thanks to the program over at Raleigh Weight Loss Center. Again, over 40 pounds, 15% of my body weight gone. And Raleigh Weight Loss Center is there for the new year and the new you. Give them a call, 919-897-7506, or visit RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Set up a free 15-minute phone consultation. See if the program is the right thing for you. 919-897-7506, RaleighWeightLossCenter.com. Results may vary.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Want to remind everybody, or actually tell everybody if you didn't hear it the first time, today is a 5W day after the show. Wolfpack Weekly with Will Wade. 5 W's coming up after the show. WWWWW. Wolfpack Weekly with Will Wade. We actually played a clip for you earlier today, him talking about the throwback uniforms and the slobbering wolf logo that he wishes he was allowed to wear on his jacket on the sidelines. So, stick around for that, and also quite a bit of talk of the Clemson game and obviously what they hope that spurs for their season moving forward. NC State plays at Pitt tomorrow at noon, so there you go. With that being said, there's only one thing left to do here on a Friday. Every Friday about this time, we make our picks, and we will. I also want to remind everybody, Monday with power and things, we're doing everything we can to make sure we have a show. But if we don't, we'll be back on Tuesday. Now, Dennis, lead us from here.
All right, let's actually go ahead and get into. Well, let's go right to the Canes. Let's go right to the ice. I'm not talking the ice that's going to be coming down in our area. I'm talking the Carolina Hurricanes on the ice tomorrow at the Ottawa Senators.
You ready? I'll run through the stats, little sheet that I fill out for every opponent.
Okay.
Ottawa's 11th in goals scored per game, 4th in most goals allowed per game, so 4th worst there. 8th best power play percentage, so they can score on the power play. 2nd worst penalty kill percentage in the league. They are tied for the 2nd to worst record in the Eastern Conference, but they're still above 500, so just shows he's pretty good. I think it's very important that they have a bad power play because the Canes went 0 for 5 last game, so hopefully they can get off the schneid and use a weakness of the opponent to get rolling. I think the Canes win. I think it's 4-2, and I think they get 2 on the power play.
Okay. So final score is?
4-2.
4-2.
And they get 2 on the power play.
All right, so make sure I got that correct. All right, let's actually go to the hardwoods. All these are noon tip-offs because, again, schedule changes. Wake Forest at number 5, Duke. Duke's 17.5-point favorites at home at Cameron.
Duke wins, but Wake covers. 17.5 feels gigantic. And I think Wake is better than their record shows. And by the way, 65th in the net. Like, they're not that's not awful. They'd be a quad 1 win if you beat them in their home court. Yeah, Wake to keep it within 17.5, but Duke to win by 10, like, feels crazy to be like they're gonna win by double digits and not cover by 7. Give me Duke 75-65.
All right, next one we have NC State at Pitt. State on the road, 5.5-point favorites up there at Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I think State wins. I think that's a better number. I'll say they covered, win by 7, something like that. Total somewhere in the upper 60s, low 70s.
I'm about to say like a 71-63 type game.
Yep.
Feels perfect.
Right there.
All right, North Carolina on the road at Virginia. UVA 7.5-point favorites at home.
I see why Virginia is favored based on how UNC's been playing recently. I still think that they're good enough to keep it within a possession or two, just with Caleb Wilson and Henry Vasar being that good. So, yeah, I guess I'll go UVA to win, but UNC to cover, and 70s, somewhere in the 70s.
Okay, somewhere in the 70s. So you have UVA winning?
Yeah.
All right.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope like I said earlier, I hope I eat my words on UNC, but until I see their guards play really well against a good team, I'm going to be leery of their outcomes.
Let's go to the gridiron. The New England Patriots, right here on the Fan, taking on the Denver Broncos in the Mile High City. Denver, at home, 4.5-point underdogs to the Patriots. 3 o'clock kickoff.
I love a home dog. I don't love a home dog with a quarterback that hasn't played in 2 years.
Yeah. Gosh, what a brutal beat.
Just broken ankle on like the second to last play for your quarterback who has taken every pass attempt. And by the way, had the most pass attempts in the league. Bo Nix was slinging the thing. Yeah, it better be New England. You can't lose in a conference championship to, what do you think this is, Nick Foles? By the way, Nick Foles had the best tweet of the weekend. He said, like, hey, Broncos fans, I know you're worried about Stidham, getting in there, and I'm hoping for Bo Nix recovery. But just so you know, the Patriots in championship-like games do struggle against backup quarterbacks. Great zing. But I think
have seen it.
I think the Patriots win. But the defense of Denver is good enough to keep it close.
All right, let's go to the next one. 6:30 kickoff. Again, right here on 99.9 The Fan. Rams at Seahawks. Seahawks at home, 2.5-point favorites.
I think I'm committed on the Rams. I've been saying they're the best team in the NFL for a long time. These two have played great games already. I anticipate another good one. But it feels kind of mission-like for Matt Stafford, where he's just not going to be denied. Even if he plays bad, he comes up with like the couple plays he needs to win. So a big game from Puka, big game from Matt Stafford, and also, do you know what no one's talking about?
What's that?
If Matt Stafford wins, does he sunset it? Does he go, thanks everybody, I'm out? Does he John Elway this thing?
Oh, if they win the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
He's gone. Then does Sean McVay bounce with him and go to him and Mike Tomlin start a podcast? Like, I don't know. He's already flirted with leaving once or twice. But yes, I think the Rams beat Seattle, but coin flip. They're both really, really good teams.
By the way, a lot of local ties in both of these games, by the way. So you have,
go ahead.
Like, for example, Drake Thomas, who's went to Heritage High School here just in Wake Forest, went to NC State, plays for the Seattle Seahawks. He's a starting linebacker for them.
Breakout season for him.
Oh, yeah. Phenomenal year.
Yeah.
You have Drake May, obviously, went to North Carolina.
Local Drakes. Good weekend for the local Drakes.
Yes. So, yes, this is the Drake Bowl. Drake May, big breakout year, but his third overall pick. We watched him. He's great. Drake Thomas, slow burn. Like, there was a point in time where in 2 games he had like as many tackles as he had in the previous 2 years. And then he kept up that tackle pace in every game for the rest of the year. Sacks, pass defense, he had a real breakout year. He's a big part of that Seattle team and how they've come together. Also, Tanner Engel, who played safety at NC State, is also part of the Rams as well.
And there's also Mac Hollins' game-time decision as a wide receiver for New England. He's obviously a UNC wide receiver.
Oh, that's right.
He
went to UNC. That's correct.
There's some local ties bouncing around the league. And we didn't even mention this.
What's that?
Former NC State quarterback Phillip Rivers interviewed for the Buffalo head coaching job today.
Wow. Look at that.
His last playoff game, we'll say, until this little stint, I believe his last playoff game was a loss with the Colts to Buffalo and Josh Allen, and now he might be Josh Allen's coach. Ian Rappaport was saying some people really think that could, he might be the coach of Buffalo, which would be wild, but I'm here for the entertainment factor. Phillip Rivers, just, chuck it and chuck it mentality with Josh Allen's history. Entertainment value at the very least. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Everybody, please stay safe out there this weekend. If you're worried about driving, don't. Weather coming in and all those sorts of things. We'll do our best to be on the air for a show on Monday, but if roads and power say otherwise, we'll be back on Tuesday. Until then, have a wonderful weekend, everybody. And once again, stay safe. Enjoy Wolfpack Weekly.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
The Buffalo Bills have fired head coach Sean McDermott. Sean McDermott did an awesome job in Buffalo, but not good enough. And we have been saying this all year. Sean McDermott should be the coach of an NFL team next year. It should just not be the Buffalo Bills. They have to get someone to win now.
Unsportsmanlike. Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
On the Wolfpack Sports Network from Learfield, this is Wolfpack Sports Today, your daily look inside NC State athletics. And now, here's Wolfpack Sports Today.
A match has an Alpac men's hoops dials